Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way ho the sea of souls. Down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way ho the sea of souls. Way ho the sea of souls. Way ho the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Now drop the anchor and grab some grog. Way ho, the sea of souls. We'll make a new entry in the captain's log. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hey ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls. Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way ho, the sea of souls. Down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Now drop the anchor and grab some grog. Way ho, the sea of souls. We'll make a new entry in the captain's log. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hey ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls.
Hello. Are we live? We're good?
Yeah, we're on.
You didn't give me the countdown this time.
Oh no, it's been two. I just got back from vacation.
You didn't give me the countdown. So
hashtag blame Mike.
we'll pretend. Okay, here we go. Now we're live. All right, cool. Ahoy, every peoples! Welcome to the Sea of Souls D&D campaign brought to you by the Elder Brain. That is us. I am Pundy, aka Craig, and with me, as always, are Mike, Devin, Ian, and Jack. Hello, gentlemen. We are playing a D&D 5th edition homebrew campaign set in the world of Eudora, which is full of chaos and seas and sea shanties and sea shanty shenanigans.
Seashells.
And seashells, including the one that is on the back of Torque.
Yep.
Sea-nanigans.
Whoa,
Sea-nanigans, there we go.
Sea cucumbers.
we're making up words on the spot here.
I'm just listing things.
I have seen cucumbers, but
Hoist
there
up
aren't
the
any sea
thing
cucumbers
and
in
batten
this
down the what's it? What's that
That's
thing
it.
spinning? Somebody should stop it.
Probably. But thanks for joining us. If you're joining us live on Twitch, thank you. And if you haven't followed us yet, please do. We're hoping to get ourselves up to affiliate. So if we can get that follower number growing and growing and growing, and then we can do more better.
Yes.
And learn
You do more,
and
comma,
I'll
better.
learn better grammar.
We're finally gonna send Craig to school.
That's right.
If we get enough followers.
We'll start wearing proper suit and ties and
Education. No, but I mean you can if you want. But yes, thank you for following us. You can check us out on YouTube. Follow us on the Twitter, on the Podbean as well. So check out our Linktree address, which will give you links to all of our stuff. But thanks for checking us out. And if you like what we've been doing so far, tell your friends so that they can come and follow along with us and just goof off and play DD because it's a fun thing to do. So thanks for
this is all serious business.
Putting up with us. Yes, if you have been watching us up to this point, then you know how definitely serious we are.
Never any tangents or jokes. Never.
Never any tangents, including this one. Never any puns.
Nope.
It's just like if
don't
you're
do
here
fun.
for serious radio drama.
BBC
all the time.
Three or something or whatever. Yeah,
We're going to talk about serious issues like that. The new brands of corduroy leggings or corduroy pillows that have been sweeping the nation, making all kinds of headlines.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, speaking of headlines, let's catch the summary of our last session of D&D Sea of Souls campaign. So, our 4 sailors are currently aboard the Stormcaller, a Dwarven engineered salvage ketch, being contracted by House Boone out of Porto de Arias to explore the seas around the Isle of Sands in search of a long-lost, sunken, ancient Dwarven stronghold. Those are a lot of words that go together to describe a place. It's awesome. Having yet to find the location, they continue to look at different spots that have been marked off on a map given to them, the most likely places to find said ruins. But they have found we're able to salvage a little bit of treasure from a shipwreck that was guarded by some sea goblins. Some gilblins. And found a whale-like skeleton, which had something interesting in its gullet that was pulled aboard, and also encountered a mysterious and somewhat alien creature down in the depths. And we pick up right after a fight with some rather large sharks around this whale carcass down on the bottom of the sea, where a green Dragonscale of significant proportions was found inside the whale. And having defeated the sharks and brought this Dragonscale some more treasure aboard the Stormcaller, that is where we pick it up. So, gentlemen, you are just off of a small island next to a larger island where you had camped previously, and have more locations to explore.
Well, we probably shouldn't.
Yours.
We probably shouldn't go back to the purple place, right? I mean, we're definitely not doing that one next, even though it's right there and everywhere else is very far away.
Yeah, we was kind of warned off of that one by
Waiting
higher
for the
powers, as I
heat
recall.
to die down. Yes.
I hate the idea of
guess-
having to come back to it, but yeah, we're not going down there now.
I guess we'll press on to the north, most likely.
Yep.
Excuse me, you're not the captain.
Oh, that was sorry.
That's all right. That's
Captain,
all
I
right.
assume that we should set it heading to north.
Yeah, Torque was right. We'll go north.
Captain, may I have a word?
One of the best highlights, definitely from us. Yeah. Okay, so you want to head kind of to the north, little alcove, not alcove, but kind of bay up.
And this is going to take us
area.
This will take us past where the Intrepid Devil sank, right?
That is correct. So as far as you know,
It sank right around there.
Yeah, we ran her aground on that little island, as I recall.
so she didn't run aground. She sank, and then you
say.
guys kind of like got off the ship. And yeah. So it's somewhere in this area. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna head north, but I think it would be smart of us to take a look, perhaps around where the devil sank, just to see if any of that black stuff has made its way off ship.
And to pay our respects, of course.
Of course.
Indeed, got to pour one out for the old girl.
Yeah.
Do we know, was there anything of value left behind the border? Like, is there any salvage that's worth going down to get, or is this purely a house call?
I know that I'm primarily concerned about the black stuff, but I don't know.
So you didn't have any cargo or trade on board currently, because you dropped off your iron shipment and then the fancy chest filled with Dragonscales at the Ivory Port, and had left there en route to Porta d'Arius. So you had an empty hold essentially. There was resources and stuff on board, food and the like. But as far as anything else, you were the Intrepid Devil was sailing empty at that point.
I was wondering maybe personal effects or stuff that people wouldn't necessarily grab during evacuation, like some knickknacks or curios, or I don't know. I'll take a poke around.
Entirely possible. Okay. So you're going to make your way. So you're heading right for that location, and then kind of from there, skirting around. Is that the idea?
Unless anybody has any objections to that, yes, that's what I'm thinking.
I would object to not doing that. So yes, let's go.
Let's not do that.
Double negatives are perfectly fine.
Right. Double negative makes a positive. Triple negative, just you need to learn to speak
It's
better.
confusing. Yes.
Are you sure?
Exactly.
Are you positive?
No. All right. So
You
the
need to be so
Stormcaller. Remember what we said about tangents? If you're looking for like professional actors and D&D players, you found them. Hey.
Wait, we're getting paid?
Mm.
No.
Oh, darn.
We're getting exposure. That's right.
Hey.
Greg, I told you not to discuss our contract on camera.
Sorry. NDA.
I don't want the others to get jealous.
Sorry, NDA. Yeah. Non-disclosure agreement. We have an NDA about the NDA.
Yes.
That's how deep we go here. All right. As the Stormcaller heads north, then we will start this day's voyage as we always do with a roll, because this is D&D and we roll dice and see what happens. So somebody please roll me a D100. Captain can do it, or Captain can pass it the duties off to somebody else.
I don't recall who finished off for us, so
I guess we'll just start with you then, Captain.
all right. D100.
D100.
Let's go with that one and that one. Okay. That's cocked. Stupid. How does a 48 sound, Craig?
A 48.
48.
Sounds pretty middling to me. I don't know.
Okay, 48. Sounds interesting. Okay. So as you set sail, and you'd come up, this is sort of mid-afternoon at this point, as you'd started the day kind of off the island, made your way to this location, went down to the depths, investigated the skeleton, had a little bit of a skirmish, came back up to deck. And so you're kind of setting sail into the evening at this point. And so the evening goes rather quietly. The sunset gives a nice blazing orange that just kind of fills the sky and casts everything in sort of a champagne light almost, as the reds and the oranges kind of play with each other. And it's a really beautiful scene. And it comes to the point where the sun sets and you're heading into night. Do you wish to continue sailing on through the evening, or would you like to drop anchor and rest?
Well, Mike says out of character. Well, gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I certainly could use the rest. Does anybody want to helm the ship through the night, or should we set anchor here?
I don't think we're in any particular rush. Let's take our time. We can set an anchor, set a watch, and get you banged up guys back in shape.
Any
4
objections?
hours working on the swell. 4 hours slogging in the rain. 4 hours working to the bell, and 4 hours till it starts again.
I mean, if somebody just sailed through, they would just like have exhaustion the next morning, right? Doesn't really.
So
I mean, you can
Like,
you can kind of set the ship on course and let it continue while you rest.
yeah, that
There's also
sounds
another option.
like a great idea.
Or you can drop. It's you have options. Is essentially what
So
I'm
sailors
trying
tended
lay
to
before
work
you here.
in alternating shifts of 4 hours on, 4 hours off, because you needed to have several of those shifts throughout
Yeah.
the day.
There's
Because
only
you-
four of you.
Exactly. So I think it would be wise if we didn't try to push it.
I mean, the catch can be sailed, operated by a single person on a basic level, but
Any of us not want to sleep?
theoretically you could do it. But I'm just saying you got the options, right? I don't want to tell you what you're doing. You tell me what you want to do with
I
it.
mean, Talon, don't you have one or two familiars that could, keep an eye out?
Not for the duration it would take for me to sleep.
That's fair. All right, drop anchor.
Aye, aye, skipper.
Besides, it would be very boring for poor old Willie.
All right. So as you are setting anchor, how would you like the watches to go?
Dinar, being as injured as he is probably gonna not.
Yeah,
take
I was gonna
first
say
watch.
Dinar.
Mark is uninjured, so I can take first watch.
Yeah,
Or take
I'll go,
first watch?
I'll go number 2 because Torque and I came out of that unscathed, and you guys got mauled.
I don't need to know. I don't need to know about you going number 2 flick. Okay, that's keep that.
Goblin's gotta do what a goblin's gotta do. Just saying.
I mean, I guess they do call it the poop deck, so whatever.
I guess Dinar will take the third watch then, if there's one.
Dinar third, okay. And that leaves Talon if there's a fourth.
Yeah.
But he'll probably be drunk sleeping.
Wasted /
I was gonna
hungover.
say Talon's already into his cups, I'm guessing. So
All right.
So each deckhand grabbed a barrel, broke the seal, and took a swig. And soon their screams turned into songs, their panicked work to jigs.
You got fresh ones tonight. I like it.
First mate bellowed orders, ever trying to save their skins. Any drunken wretch the captain catch, he'll beat them limb from limb. Oh, what do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? Lie in the morning.
Early in the evening. At this point,
If only we knew.
If
What to do.
only.
we gotta like Devin. You gotta find one that like we'll all learn. And I said then we'll all sing it together on Twitch at the same time. But then obviously that's horrible because Zoom is like never like in sync.
Yeah.
And people like you'll start and like we'll start and it'll be like and it'll sound horrible, but that'll be great because
Just a
Well,
cacophony.
it'll be
Better.
entertaining.
If I could offer a suggestion, there's always the sea shanty that every single person in the entire world is aware of.
See,
Come all ye young fellows who follow the sea to me way, hey, blow the man down.
I like one would work. Yeah, we'll have to make up our own lyrics for it. Though.
And pray pay it. Oh, there's like 100 verses to that song. It would be you could easily.
Well, it
do
needs
that.
it needs the 101st then.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
All right, Torque. As the sun has set and the stars now dominate the night sky, your companions have headed into the cabin to get some rest. The watch is yours. Give me a perception check, please.
Got it.
Ooh.
There we go. That's 19, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 3 things you notice on your watch that are of particular note. The first is that though the night is calm and the sky is clear, you perhaps being more attuned to this than most even, you begin to feel that little bit of static in the air, the drop in pressure, barometric pressure, and your senses tell you still far off, but there is a storm that is on its way. It's might not reach you until the morning, but the weather is changing. And because of your connection to Desfuna, because of your innate abilities to call forth lightning and just this connection that you have, it almost produces a little bit of a thrill in you that you can feel the energy build up to static, and it's hard to ignore. And as the storm draws closer, you can tell that it is a slow moving storm. This isn't fast, and so it's going to be something that when it does reach here, it might be pretty significant. It's coming in thick and heavy.
On the deck of the ship, I will just have my anchor out, and I'll take a knee and just say a quick prayer to Desfuna, requesting safe passage.
Okay. The second thing you notice as you're scanning the horizon, kind of gazing about, to the south, it's more of a sense than vision, but you get the uncanny feeling that whatever that entity was that you encountered in the depths, it's still there.
You're gonna say what's following us.
And even across, it's not following you, but even across the distance, across the leagues here in the sea, you feel like as you're looking out in that direction that it is looking back. It's ever present. It's just there, this entity. And you know that it had spoken to you, it reached out to you. And you can still feel it just at the edge of your senses, the edge of your consciousness, almost, that it's there.
Torque will
Very
just
certain of that.
narrow his eyes and glare in its general direction.
The third thing that draws your attention is much closer than the other two. As near to the end of your watch, actually, a few hours into the night, you see a few shapes in the water circling the ship at a distance. One at first, followed by a second, a third, at least 3 of them, maybe 4. Fairly large, staying below the surface, but just in a circling patrol, keeping their distance, but keeping a regular perimeter around the ship. And they don't stop, it just keeps going. Circle, circle, circle.
Am I able to make out what these shapes are at all, or just that they are shapes?
You can give me a nature check.
Shapy shapes.
That's gonna be another 19.
Another 19. Okay, so Jack's setting the precedent early here with 19s.
Got it. Man, oh man.
Yep.
The dice don't lie, fellas.
Given your fairly recent encounter at the whale skeleton, you do know what these are. These are giant sharks.
Oh.
And there are 4 of them you can see now. Big ones. They haven't come any closer. They're keeping their distance, but they're there. It's obvious they're aware of you. They are circling. And they're big.
This could be an issue depending on how far they see fit to follow us.
Hmm.
Nothing else occurs during your watch. The sharks make no attempt to move closer. And the end of your shift comes. Do you
When
wait Flick, or do you wait for him to come out?
I'll wait for him to come out, and just like when we, make our exchange, I will just, point out the sharks to him, just so they are brought to his attention as well.
Never a dull moment out here, eh, little guy? All right, I will make sure they don't do anything fishy out there.
When Talon wakes up, you may wish to tie a rope around his waist to prevent him from stumbling overboard.
Always wise. All right, rest well, buddy. Pat him
With
on.
that, Torque will take his leave.
Okay.
As he's turning around to go, I'm actually for the first time, sort of physically try and measure him as best I can as he's leaving. I want to get accurate measurements of torque for future projects.
Interesting. Okay.
Not at all concerning.
Yeah,
For no reason. Just
no. Future projects, it's all fine.
What would just thinking about how Flick would be doing this? What would you like to roll for it?
I want to do it subtly, basically. So, when I pat him on the back, I'm going to aim for the middle of his back when I'm patting him, just so I know how high that is, and that'll give an idea of the size.
How many flick hands width?
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me an investigation then for this.
Investigation.
You're trying to study some details here.
Solid 10 there. That's
Okay. Cool. He's bigger than you.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably somewhere in the 6 foot range,
Okay.
give or take a foot.
All right. This might require more research.
Yeah.
That's all right. During my watch, I'll totally be paying attention as I'm flipping to blank pages in the back of my big book and then I'll sketch some
course.
stuff.
Crayon drawings of torque. Got it. All right. Give me your perception check, please, Flick, as your watch
Perception goes like this. Hey, that's better.
Hey.
17.
17. Okay.
Nice.
Even though you are not as in tune with the storm as your friend Torque is, the air pressure is changing significantly enough that you become aware of it as well. That you can feel the dew point rising, you can feel the pressure dropping, you can feel that little bit of a chill in the wind kind of begin to pick up. You don't see anything yet, you don't hear anything yet, but given your experience at sea, you guys have already sailed through a few big storms, and so all the signs are there that something big is making its way in.
That inspires me. I'm going to flip to the transmutation chapter and just sort of look up, weather control, wind spells, that kind of stuff to see what we got here. It's sort of inspired me.
Okay.
And totally keeping watch too, as well. That's absolutely
For sure.
keeping my book, drawing some pictures. The other thing that just crosses my mind. What did we do with the Dragonscale? Like, is it just stowed in the
Early in the morning.
Yeah, I would assume it would be stowed.
Okay,
Maybe in the
guys.
captain's quarters, somewhere that it would be safe.
because it was like fairly big, right? Like it was like my size.
Was it 2 by 2?
It's 2 feet by 2 feet. Yes.
All right, so yeah. So yes, other than working on storm magic and that kind of stuff, if there's anything that I can find out about dragons in my book of spells, I don't know. There's going to be a ton in a spell book about dragons in particular. It's not like a full-on research library. It's just a spell book. But, it again, inspired by recent events. I'll see if there's anything dragon-related in the old spell book.
Sure.
And that'll kill a couple hours really easy.
Okay. So as you flip through this particular spell book that you acquired by totally legit means off
Absolutely.
that wizard, there isn't really any. There's nothing mentioning dragons at all.
Okay.
You don't really find anything of note in there.
Kind of
Through your, sorry.
It was kind of a long shot, but I figured I'd take
Yeah.
a peek.
Throughout your watch, every now and then you kind of peek up and you see that the 4 giant sharks are still circling, and they just stay there the entire time. They don't move any further. They don't move any closer. It's almost like they're keeping a specific perimeter, and you feel confident that if you were to actually measure and watch, that they are in perfect circle. Like they are not deviating from this path in the slightest. It is clockwork.
Is that normal for sharks? I muse aloud.
Give me a nature check for
I
that.
sure would love to do that. Blam, another 10. Back to normal.
You don't know much about sharks, but it might be common. Like lots of predatory animals are known to display great patience, being able to, stalk their prey or lie in wait for hours upon hours. Go days without food if they have a specific target in mind. So you're not sure whether the specifics of this circular pattern and the precision of it is natural, but for a potential predator to be that persistent, it's possible. It's not unheard of.
Perfectly natural. We did chum the waters pretty well back there, so
You did.
For a snack.
You did indeed.
all right. Storm's coming, sharks circling. Nothing about dragons, but I do find a few. There are definitely some wind and rain and weather spells in here that are catching my eye. And I'll wait for D to come out and see what's going on.
Just as a reminder, you guys did haul one of those giant shark carcasses aboard as well.
Oh.
Not just hauled it aboard, but cleaned it, dressed it.
You did, yes, you did. So you used your salvage hooks to drag that carcass aboard. So
Are we leaving a bloody trail behind? Like how?
no. I'm just friendly reminding you of last session as your kind and generous DM.
For no reason.
For no reason at all, none,
Yeah,
not at all.
Huge
Might
shark,
be
they're perfectly-
relevant, might not be relevant.
They're not out for revenge. They're just hunting. It's fun.
Let me just roll some dice here for
no reason.
See what Flick fails to know is that sharks remember everything and they never forget.
I think
And that's
it's elephants.
The elephants of the sea.
Yes, and elephants are drawn by the smell of blood. All right. The rest of your watch passes without incident.
Excellent.
And as it comes to an end, as you kind of get into the early hours of the morning now, just past midnight, you can see the clouds starting to come, and they're coming from the southwest. And you can see that portion of the sky as the stars start to kind of become obscured and fade as far as you can see, like stretching across the horizon, a massive cloud pattern storm front starts to inch its way closer.
The Black Goo ship. What direction? What heading did it come from? Did it come from the southwest as well, or did?
No, that came from the east.
Okay.
That's up north, north and east. So,
Okay.
From the southwest, it's coming down, kind of. Yeah.
I got my big board with red strings everywhere, just trying to connect stuff up a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So your watch comes to an end, and
Hey D, so storm coming in. Keep an eye on that. There's
Lovely.
sharks. Sort of point out. There's 1, 2, 3, and there's Smiley over there. There's 4 of them. They're circling. I figure, we chummed the water pretty good back there. Maybe they think they got a snack up here.
They've been circling the whole time you've been out here?
Little guy spotted them first, so they've been here all night.
Oh. That's unsettling. All right.
Yeah, a little bit. I suggest no midnight swims. And otherwise, I will see you come dawn, Skipper.
Roger that.
okay. Dinar, as you take your watch, give me a perception check, please.
All right. Perception. A total of 11.
11. Okay.
11.
So, as Flick has pointed out, on the horizon, coming slowly but assuredly closer towards you, you see the darkened sky, the clouds, and you begin to see flash here and there in the clouds. And the first quiet, low rumble of thunder reaches your ears. The storm is coming. Give me a nature check.
Okay. I was gonna say at that and being out on sea again, the rumble of thunder. If Dinar can sweat in his palms, he is sweating in his palms.
Well, the last time it was a storm that was given specifically for us.
Yes, but well, we'll see what we get. All right, so I rolled a 12 plus my 4 for 16.
16, okay. Gathering by the distance, and you spend enough time at sea to learn how to time storms, counting between the rumble of thunder and the flash of lightning, and the time between, each kind of peal of thunder. And so kind of putting it all together, you figure the storm will probably reach you where you guys are probably not long after dawn breaks.
So after my watch.
So after your watch, yeah, but it's still a ways out.
And forgive me,
because
is it
it
coming
was
in
such
from
a-
the east, or is it coming in from the west?
It's
The
coming
north,
from
south?
southwest.
Southwest. Okay. All right.
Yeah, southwest. So it's just kind of there. You those occasional kind of peals of thunder, flashes of lightning, a few louder ones every now and then. They just kind of accompany you through your watch as the storm does slowly but surely move in.
Dinar is going to, noting the storm, he's going to find the Dragonscale, wherever it is, and bring it out on deck and place it towards the rear of the boat where he can keep an eye on the storm that's coming in. He wants to be as close to it as he can be. And then with the Dragonscale up on deck, Dinar is going to detect magic and see if there's anything arcane about this scale.
Okay, go ahead and give me a detect magic spell. So you're gonna. Is this you have it prepared or doing ritual?
This will be ritual because I have a couple hours, so I'll just ritual cast.
Okay.
For 10 minutes.
So you. What does this ritual look like for Dinar?
That's a good question. I should probably have that prepared because I use it so horribly.
Put some Dinar flavor on it for us.
Some Dinar flavor on it. So
what does this process look like? I like to think that for every spellcaster, it's a little bit different, right? So
this is probably gonna. Well, it's heavily inspired by the fact that I just watched a YouTube video today that was talking about Doctor Strange and his reality. There's time stone, but Dinar is gonna sit there, kind of cross-legged, his hands out, and let's say around his wrists, you see some glowing. Let's go with we'll go with some like bright white or almost yellow. Kind of rune symbols that go around as his head's not twitching around like Doctor Strange, but his eyes are closed. He's kind of muttering his arcane words as the magic is flowing through his fingertips from his wrists.
Okay. I like
as
it.
he detects.
Okay. So as the ritual comes to completion and you open your eyes again and you focus your eyes on this large dragon scale, which aside from the magic, having never seen a living dragon or even a dead dragon, the size of this scale alone and thinking about how many of these would cover this thing's body, it really does give you a glimpse at the immensity of these creatures and how big they must have been. And it's kind of overwhelming to think this is but one of its scales.
Thinking about the creature that it came from.
There's no magic on it. There's no enchantment coming off of it at all. But given the spell and given your nature as dragonkin, you do notice sort of the inherent magic within this scale, that even though you've never seen a dragon, there is still that existing lore of dragon, and they're always spoken of as these creatures that kind of almost embodied magic. Magic was a very part of them, part of their nature, their essence. And so on a very, very basic level, you get that sense, right? That this is more than just like an animal hide, or a scale off of a fish or something. There is an inherent trace of the arcane embedded into the very fabric of this scale. And you're aware of that. You can kind of sense that, but beyond that, there's no specific magic to it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think once that's finished,
I was gonna say, as you've kind of completed this ritual and you've been looking at the scale and kind of take a little bit of time to do this, kind of almost absentmindedly, you take a peek up and look around. The sharks are gone. You're not exactly sure when they left. You didn't see where they went, or you're kind of distracted, and it's one of those like kind of afterthoughts, right? Where you look up and go, wait. And by the time you kind of take that moment to look up and gaze around the sides of the ship, you don't see them anywhere.
We had taken the shark carcass to cut it up for meat, right?
Correct.
All right.
So I would say that over the time that you guys have been traveling, that probably, we can say that would be one of the things that you guys did, unless you wanted to just leave it rotting on the ship. But I'm assuming that you probably cleaned and dressed it and went to work at it.
Dinar will find his way down to wherever we cleaned it and grab the biggest chunk of shark meat that he can and take it back up to the deck. And going back to the back of the ship again, Dinar will take that piece over his head and throw it out into the water as far as he can.
You're wasting perfectly good meat.
Well, I need to see if the sharks are just under the water now.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to chum the water a little bit and see if they're still nearby.
Give me a perception check as you do this, please. As you're specifically looking at this spot in the water to see what occurs.
Roll high. It's a 16 plus my 1, 17.
Okay. The slab of meat kind of hits the surface, come almost like that slapping sound, right? And it kind of floats for a minute, and then slowly starts to sink below the surface. And you watch as it drops. Goes down. Goes down. You don't see anything come to snatch it. It quickly fades into the darkness of the water without light and fades from view. Nothing comes.
Surely they would eat their own meat. If given the chance. They must be gone.
Sharks are friends, not food.
Aside from that, Dinar will just stand watch, wait for sunrise.
Okay. So your watch comes to an end probably around a couple hours before true dawn. So kind of at pre-dawn, where that pre-sunrise light kind of starts to crest, skewed a little bit by kind of the clouds that are now forming and blanketing most of the sky. But you do see that lightness just start to arrive as your watch comes to an end. So technically it's morning. You could go for fourth watch if you feel it's necessary.
Having seen that the sharks have left, and the storm is still a couple hours out yet.
Yeah.
I think.
You've got about 2 hours and a bit.
Okay.
Give or take before it is kind of over.
All right, then assuming it would be allowable within a long rest, Dinar will just kind of mill about in his in the captain's quarters, waiting for the rest of the guys to stir.
Okay. I'd say since you took third watch, yeah, you probably would have gotten your 6 hours in minimum, kind of thing. So, okay. So you all begin to stir and wake as morning's light comes, accompanied by the sound of thunder on the horizon.
Oh, this
Closer
bloody
now.
well again. Torque.
First drops of rain begin slowly and turn into not a downpour, not a thorough soaking, but a steady rain, fairly steady rain.
Torque. Can you get your lady friend to shove off?
I am Desfuna's to command, not the other way around.
Yeah, Tayland, what if the water, the rain is a sign of good luck? You ever think about that?
I mean, it might have spooked off our sharky friends. That's something.
Yeah, they just kind of left through the night. I tried to chum the waters and see if they were still there, but nothing, so I assume they're gone.
At any rate, I did make a humble request for safe passage in our leg of the journey today. I hope that will be of some
the storm
use.
is your fault.
See? The storm is a good thing.
Talon, if you don't wish to get wet, I am sure that there are potatoes below deck that need peeling.
He retired 2 quarters, put the rum upon his shelf, sat in his seat, put up his feet, and drank the rest himself.
I think it's just it's just getting like softer and softer as he goes below deck.
Does Dinar mention that you examined the Dragonscale, or?
I don't know. Talon. Does Dinar want to be made fun of? You know what? Since Dinar didn't really find anything super special, no, Dinar is not going to mention it yet.
Okay.
Well, let's lift anchor and sail off.
Sounds good to me, Skipper.
Okay. So it is stormy. It's again, it's not really much of a gale. The waves aren't really chopping up too bad. For the size of the storm and the power of it, it's fairly calm compared to many storms that would hit at sea. There's breeze, there's a wind. It's not very strong, but it would be considered a tailwind, which would be favorable. So you will have a little bit of extra speed on your journey today because you do have favorable winds behind you, even with the rain, because the waters are not chopped up too bad. So as you begin sailing the second day, let's get another D100 roll, please.
It was a good thing. I rest my case.
Only because his rolls have been so hot. Let's go Torque next.
All right, 1D100 coming up, Capitan. Do we know that high rolls are necessarily good, though?
No,
I have no idea.
but you've been rolling good, so maybe that'll be good.
41.
41.
That's close-ish to what I rolled last time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Flake's kind of like tipped back to the sky. He's like snapping at the raindrops like a dog drinking from a sprinkler.
That's awesome.
Okay. With the tailwind behind you, you gather decent speed as you set sail and continue to make your way northward towards the last known location of the Intrepid Devil. I'm assuming is Flick kind of doing his usual lookout as our...
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Flick, give me a perception check if you would, please.
Sure thing. Perception. Another 10.
10, okay.
It needs to be the roll of the night for me.
Oh, man.
So the good news is that you do spot what is ahead of you. The bad news is that you aren't sure you spot it in time. As kind of distract a little bit, looking here and there, you look ahead of the ship and you realize about 100 yards off and closing fast, you see the water swirling and growing stronger. And you realize the storm caller is headed directly into a whirlpool of fairly significant size.
Holy crap, Captain. Hard to port. Where'd that come from? Holy gee.
And as you notice it, you all kind of feel a little bit of almost like a lurch as the ship actually begins to pick up speed. Now being pushed from behind by the tailwind and beginning to get drawn into the strong current
Oy vey.
of a dangerous whirlpool.
Talon, we need you up top. Get that gust going.
And we won't give a damn when the gales are done, how hard the winds did. Whoa!
There you go.
That was quick.
Yeah, we need you to get a gust going. Get these sails working away from this whirlpool.
Right.
Dinar's also turning the wheel as fast as you can. Try to turn the ship.
Okay. So what I'm going to need from Dinar, I need you to make a handling check for the water vehicles here. So to see how well you're going to be able to kind of steer this thing. So that'll be our first order of business.
Can Torque just sort of lend his strength and kind of like help Dinar with the wheel?
Sure.
Like let him guide the direction he wants to turn in, but just like sort of lend his strength to actually like move the wheel against like the strong current.
Given your nautical experience as a former pirate, I'd say as well, yes, you can lend yourself to this. So, Mike, you can make this with advantage then.
Okay, and this is my water vehicle's proficiency?
Correct.
Okay.
So in this case...
and +7.
Yeah.
Thank you for the help. I rolled a 2 and a 12. So that's 12 plus 7, so 19.
19, okay.
Definitely better than an 8.
Yep.
Or a 9.
A 9, yeah.
No, that's definitely good. Okay. Flick and Talon, is there anything in particular you might be doing in this instant? Anything you think of giving aid or what you might be trying to
gust of
prepare
wind
yourself for
against the direction that we don't want to go. Would be a big help to try and. It's like I'm assuming we're trying to veer to like starboard or something. Like we're trying to.
Yeah, I left or right. It doesn't matter. But
I'd say with your vehicle handling, your understanding of kind of nautical movement stuff here, that so the whirlpool is going clockwise, and essentially you want to try and like get onto the port side of it so you can kind of ride that current.
Yeah, ride the edge and then
pop out the other side. You don't want to go. You don't want to go
against it,
against the current, which will just like rip you apart.
Right.
So you're like, we need to try and catch the rim of that and get us around. Yes, so you begin to steer hard to port to try and get yourself kind of in that.
Would I want to then like ready an action for when we make that slingshot around to like throw that gust of wind in, kind of pull us out at that last section? Is that, or is it better for me to try and maneuver us to help us maneuver with the gust?
Give me a straight intelligence check.
I guess it would depend on how successful the turning of the ship is going.
Well, there's that. Yes. Yeah, 13.
13. Okay. You kind of figured that it's gonna be speed that gets you out of the current. If you can kind of break that current with enough force, enough kind of inertia, and so maybe giving an extra gust to the sails.
All right.
Would be beneficial to kind of just give you even if you want to pick it up a couple of knots, just to like kind of punch through the current as you kind of ride around it. With that check, that was a very significant check. So I'd say you do manage to get a really good, kind of hard jibe to port, and so you're not fully out of the path of it, but you are kind of coming out on the kind of the edge of it. So you're not heading right towards it. You've managed to kind of steer yourself in a pretty good direction towards the very outer edge that you are pretty confident you can kind of catch it and slingshot around for it.
You don't know a storm till you ride the wind 'neath cold and blackened skies. Oh.
I want to know if like Devin just has he's just got a list. It's like a D100 list of like sea shanties. Like
there's a
which one's
teleprompter
appropriate right
directly
now.
behind
You're
him.
sailing
There is,
through
yeah.
the
Camera.
thunder.
His wife's just like
and the
holding up, sing this one,
lightning.
this one, this one.
Yeah, they
Takes
laugh
your
and the
questions.
sails and the jags and the bloody sun won't rise.
Fleck, what are you doing right now?
I'm going to keep an eye on everyone. If anyone looks like they're going to be losing their footing, if things are going to go a little choppy, I'm going to have my whip ready to lash someone in. So I'll be on rest in detail.
Okay. So go ahead and just give me a, because if you're prepping this, just give me a straight dexterity check just to see how
Sure. Dexterity.
on the ball you are at the moment.
Not very.
Hey.
And then keep my own
Okay.
feet.
Okay, so we got a 19 on that. 13. Okay. So as you approach this whirlpool, which you realize is a good 50 to 60 feet in diameter, it's not the biggest, but it's of good size. But with the help of Torque and Dinar at the wheel, really just wrenching, getting the boat kind of hard to port as much as you can, and as you kind of enter into the kind of outskirts of the vortex, and with that extra gust of wind, as Talon, you do realize you get to that point where you kind of give it that extra little boost in the sails. It's a bumpy ride going through, and there's a moment where you're not sure if you're going to come out of it, or are you going to get kind of pulled sideways into it? Are you going to get wrenched around and kind of caught in the current? But you do manage to break through, and with that gust of wind, with that actually a little bit of good steering and possibly some luck as well, you break through the outer edge of the current on the other side, and kind of move away and leave the current and the whirlpool behind. However, you are not entirely unscathed by it. So the ship does take a little bit of damage, and as you kind of manage to get to a safe enough distance, doing a quick once over, you realize that the rudder has been damaged, and probably will need some repairs, or you're going to be slowed moving forward. Your travel time will be hindered, as your steering mechanism is a little bit battered and bashed up.
The sails are rent and the engine's blown, the keel is split to stern. Oh, we lost the rudder to the tide, and the mizzen mast is burning. The rain's like nails and our harbor's lost, and the compass spins and turns. Oh,
Talon sings to comfort all of you. Like, how bad is it? The ship's burning and it's going to sink, but everything's great.
All right, well, let's get to repairs. Keep ourselves afloat here.
So all in all, well done. There was a success, not a total success, but a success nonetheless.
I think Torque could make a great bosun.
Of all of us here, I am probably the one most equipped, both physically and in terms of experience to handle this repair. Yeah.
You can also do repairs from the outside, which is very useful.
I mean, that's also true. Well, what do you say, Torque? How do you feel about being promoted to bosun?
Let's go assess the damage. I mean, I did kind of just step into the first mate role. Nobody really objected. So,
well, hey, as a bosun, we all know that you get your own holiday.
There is that. Okay.
Anyway, I guess I will. How do I do this? Do I just sort of rappel down on a rope, or do I just kind of circle back in a lifeboat?
Well, I
want to be standing on something solid while I work.
The beautiful thing about the Stormcaller being a salvage catch is you do have a rather large pulley and hoisting mechanism at the rear of the ship, which you figure you could probably easily enough rig a plank to kind of between the hooks and lower down to give you kind of a working platform, as it were.
All right, I will lower myself down.
Torque, do you have any tool proficiencies?
I have proficiency with the herbalism kit.
Okay. Applying a salve won't really work.
Smear some herbs on the.
Numb its pain a little bit. Okay. So just to investigate, to assess the damage, just give me an investigation check if you would.
You got it. 12. The water's a little murky.
Okay.
So I see what I'm working with.
No, that's decent for this. The damage isn't too bad. So you figure, you see a couple of spots where the wood itself seems to be pretty decent. you might need to just remove some of the pins and kind of replace them. You see some where the latches are that are kind of bent and skewed a little bit, and it's not quite sitting straight. There's the post that kind of runs down from the wheel that's kind of skewed a little bit. So it's more just making some adjustments and like fixing a few parts in here and there, but give yourself about 2 hours and you can have it done.
All right. I will just shout back up to the ship, let them know the amount of time that we're gonna have to be sitting around for.
All right, let's drop anchor. Get these repairs done.
We couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble into shale. She'd saved our lives so many times, living through the gale.
So one of the nice things about your little break here for 2 hours is the storm passes.
Yay!
And moves on and leaves you with relatively clear skies once again and fairly calm water, which is preferable when you're trying to make repairs in the water. So there's nothing really hindering your repair job at all. But you do lose 2 hours of time as this takes place. So
I don't know about the rest of you guys, but this Funa's not exactly winning me over.
give me a religion or a nature check if you want.
Torque is not present for this conversation.
I'll do
either
religion.
Talon or one of the others of you.
I'll do
that
religion.
Are having this conversation.
I have education in religion.
Okay. Even as you say that, then you kind of think you're like, wait, that storm had nothing to do with this Funa. You just kind of think we're like, maybe that was just a natural seasonal storm. So you know that. What you do with that information is up to you.
Be that as it may.
But I'm just saying it. So internally, you understand this. You're like, that wasn't sent or had nothing to do with Desuna.
Be that as
or,
it may.
Or Gothos, the god of storms, or Marantha, the goddess of nature. There was nothing divine.
So this Tefuna is not exactly winning me over.
That's what I was gonna say. You can take it how you will.
Hey, listen, Tayland, we didn't sink, therefore it's a glorious storm. I got a nice little drink of water. We had a fun little ride.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it'll make a great story.
Exactly. We surfed a friggin' whirlpool. Where did that come from? Was that there when we were here last time? Like, did we just like?
I don't. I think I'd remember that. I think that would have crossed our minds.
Mm-hmm.
There are some rather large creatures in this water, though. Moving around could create a whirlpool.
I think we need to update the charts for navigational hazards, such as giant whirlpools.
Dinar, you can give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Dinar's good at Arcana, right? Yeah, we're trained.
I mean, you tell us.
Can somebody help me?
I'm in the ocean right now.
I rolled a 2.
Either Flick or Talon, because they're both casters.
I'm joking.
So I'd say between the three of you.
I rolled a 2, but I've got a 7, so it's a total of 9 for my roll.
Would you like one of them to assist you?
I mean, yes. I feel bad.
Talon, the bard druid.
Do you want like
natural?
Do you want actual assistance or do you want?
So yeah, either Talon, you can either roll your own or you can give Dinar advantage.
Yeah. Do you want advantage on that?
Well, I've already rolled the 2.
Okay. So you might as well. I'll give you advantage.
Okay.
You get a +7, so I mean, yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
you get it pretty
better.
decent.
It's better for you to do it, or not.
Did you roll a 1?
No, I rolled a 2.
You're destined to not.
I have got 2 2s in front of me right now. It's terrible.
So
Let's just get the bad rolls out now.
Yep.
You know?
so put it this way. It's one of those things where you're like, you have a thought and you're like, what? Oh, and then it's you can't remember what you were. It was like one of those moments of like almost recognition, where like something about the whirlpool, and then you're like, You can't remember.
Well then,
It evades you.
anybody for drinks?
Just
We're
as a last ditch effort on this, since those two contributed, but I didn't. Did I stumble across anything in my reading last night, potentially, that would a spell that would create a whirlpool?
I would allow you to give me an Arcana check if you'd like.
All
Since
right,
you do have a spell book. You are a caster. You are.
Arcaona.
13.
It is in your realm.
Better than a 2, but
Okay. You vaguely recall that there are whirlpools that occur naturally, but it is possible for them to be caused by other things, be that spells, be that rogue magic. You are in a world filled with, arcane fractures, magic that kind of goes chaotic here and there. So it's possible. You're not for certain about this whirlpool in specific, but it is possible for them to be caused by non-natural means.
I will put a pin in that for tonight's reading. Then that's
So, especially given this sort of suddenness of it, there's kind of a
seems like this seems like a busy enough travel lane that someone might have noticed this before and maybe put it on a chart somewhere. Just
Probably.
spitballing here.
right.
It's an interesting thought.
So as you enter into the early hours of the afternoon, having lost a couple hours, but Torque is able to successfully repair the
I just
rudder.
kind of heave myself back over the side of the boat. Repairs are done. Captain,
Torque.
whenever you're ready.
All right, let's lift the anchor. Let's keep moving.
You give the wheel a test, and it's like the helmet test, and okay, yeah, it seems to be responding quite well. So
Well done, Torque. Well done.
the little bit of the creak is gone as well as before, like so he was able to kind of straighten it out a little bit. Yeah.
Left it better than it was before.
Very well done.
Need your own
You-
special modification of this baby.
You increase your speed by 0.000001 knots.
Hey,
Hey, all right.
aftermarket
Folks,
rudder.
that's my
Oh yeah,
Aftermarket. Yeah.
basically NOS.
We've just
Totally.
increased the value of this ship by about 1 gold piece.
Not even.
We shipped in a maximum
maybe a
overdrive.
silver.
2 silver.
Maximum
silver.
overdrive.
All right. So I don't need another D100 roll for you. That was your sea encounter for this trek of the voyage. So the rest of the afternoon goes fairly well, and right as it's kind of reaching the last little bit of light, you close in on the general location of where the Intrepid Devil went down. But you are losing light, so
Yeah. Oh, I hope she's still down there and not risen from the dead, scourge of the seas, black sails a fluttering. Yeah.
We could take the bathysphere down and check to be sure.
It's not a bad idea. We just don't have a lot of light, so if we're gonna do it, we gotta do it now.
I mean, I'm game. I'd rather determine whether it's gone all spooky on us now rather than find out by surprise later.
I don't anticipate this being a particularly lengthy task. We go below the surface and either the ship will be there or it won't. The waters are fairly shallow, so it won't take that much longer to get back to the surface either.
All right, give me 10 minutes. We'll all get water breathing. Then I will ritual cast water breathing for the group.
Roll.
and during this 10 minutes, is there anything else the rest of you are doing to prepare?
Torque, because he already breathes water, will not scout too far ahead, but he will. This area is sort of like in the shallows, right? Is that correct? So he will kind of like just rappel down the side of the boat and just sort of see what he can see just from like, just kind of like swimming near the boat, like close enough to climb back on if there's any signs of trouble, but like in the water, just kind of like looking deeper.
Okay. So with the lack of light and a little bit of murkiness you can give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay.
This is a little bit hard to see right now.
It's gonna be a 10.
Okay.
Not bad.
You're not able to discern whether the ship is there or not on the bottom, but you do see something that you recognize. Black. A mass of just inky blackness seems to be covering a pretty wide area below the ship. You can't really make out much more details, but you see enough to know that it's not just darkness. This isn't just lack of light. This is a physical black darkness. And given your experience aboard the Intrepid Devil and what you've encountered before, probably safe for you to assume what it is.
Torque will pull himself back up on board and just wave to the others. Call it off. Call it off. There's something down there.
Well, yeah, the Intrepid Devil.
Besides the Intrepid Devil.
Well, fish and water.
Phelan,
And
what do you mean, Torque?
inky black tentacles. Not
We kind of
unlike
figured that'd be the
ones
case.
from. Not unlike the ones that we saw.
Do they look like they can be stabbed and or killed?
You're welcome to try. However, I think it may be within all of our best interests to not go into the water unless absolutely necessary. Furthermore, if we intend to stay here until morning, we may want to put some distance between the site of the boat and our current vessel.
Certainly don't want that happening again.
I mean, this isn't exactly safe to leave here, is it? Sooner or later, that's going to become a problem.
Another navigational hazard to mark on the old maps there, huh?
Well, I assume it's only a problem until we successfully kill God, at which point maybe this will cease to exist.
And at this point, my concern is just that what happened to the Devil's going to happen to this ship.
That would not be good.
No.
Yeah, I would be happy to put some distance and then maybe have Torque do a quick survey of the underside, make sure we didn't pick up any stragglers.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go like 20 minutes further north. Set anchor, and then we'll take a look at the bottom of the ship.
Just want to get a few more miles kind of distance.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And during that whole time, I will be scanning the area as well as sort of the horizon, just making sure that there's no more black ships coming, no more sharks coming. It's just make sure that we're alone out here for a change of pace.
so you're staying. You're not going underwater. You're staying above.
Staying
ships
above
here.
water and just making sure there's nothing.
All right. Just give me a general perception check then. Straight perception.
Perception.
Now that I'm staring down at the darkest
Hey, they're getting better.
abyss,
It's an 11 this time.
I'm not sure what I want, but I'm not sure it's this.
In the lack of light, the sky is still a little bit overcast. It's got some trailing clouds, so you don't even have that bright starlight this evening, and so not much to see. Nothing really grabs your attention on the horizon or kind of immediately around the ship in the waters. It's all just dark.
No news is good news.
Exactly. That is eminently comforting.
So as you move 20 minutes on further, drop the anchor.
That away.
What are you doing?
Torque, go, just take a look at the bottom of the ship. Or the belly of the ship.
Yes. Torque will lower himself down on the rope and pulley. He'll tie off a rope to his waist just for quick retrieval if need be.
Sure.
And
There's
then just,
lots of ropes on this ship. Yep.
yeah. And just go below the surface just to inspect the underside of the hull.
You know, it could just be an oil spill.
In the same location where the
Torque's not even going to dignify. He's not even going to dignify that. He just walks right past Talon.
So for these purposes, as you're kind of specifically looking for things on the hull, then you can give me an investigation check, please.
Okay.
Pour atop a wild breaker, the cracks in her frame spilled her black guts all across the wild main, and she limped away through an ocean of flame.
As a 13.
There's some fish kind of hanging on in a couple spots, you know.
Some remoras.
Are they three-eyed?
No.
Okay.
Just eating at the algae. A couple mussels here and there, some barnacles. Nothing that you wouldn't expect to find at the bottom of a ship here. But nothing unnatural.
We got to paint the
Nothing out
bottom
of
of
the
this ship
ordinary.
red.
Red?
Yeah.
Why?
You know why modern ships are painted red on the underside is because it repels barnacles.
Oh, I did not know that.
Says Meditaland.
Yes.
My thought was that if any black tentacles latch on, then they'll be more visible.
That too.
Yeah, contrast is nice.
So
Yeah,
I don't see anything. Is what you like? Nothing of concern.
Probably a couple of fish that look like a good snack, maybe, but some algae as well. That would be a good snack, but for Torque. But no, there's nothing unusual.
I'll just take a handful on the way.
Yep.
Good
As
for
far
you.
as you're able to discern, you haven't acquired any unwanted travelers,
All right.
stowaways,
Well, let's
Klingons.
We'll stay anchored here. We'll rest up for the night, and we'll just move on. I don't know that we want to go messing with that stuff on the Devil. We'll just have to keep an eye out. Tayland,
Aye, sir.
you haven't taken a watch in about 3 nights, so you're going to take the first watch tonight. I'll take the second. Flick or
All
Torque,
right.
whoever wants it, can have the last one.
Torque will bring up the rear this time.
Excellent.
Okay. Alrighty.
Come, me boys, and heave with me. Got scabrous hands and bloody knees, but when the bell tolls, I'll go below. My hands will callous and my strength will grow.
So, Tayland, as you serenade yourself, pass the time with a chantier at 17, go ahead and give me a perception check as you
I'm
begin
good at that.
first watch.
Never mind.
Oh, 9.
That's a big fat 9.
I will help you qualify that 9, because Flick's going to sit up with you for a few minutes and maybe share a drink with you. Memories of the Devil,
Okay.
and we'll pass the time. Not the whole watch, but
Don't you fear, there's enough from here to drink until we drown. Hi!
Then I will give you advantage on that.
Yay!
haha, here it was justifying your distraction, but that's even.
Because there's two of you, and Flick tends to be relatively perceptive for the most part, not always. With that
Time
11,
flies.
Can you
Is
do
it
like an
having
anti-help
one
action? Can you do something?
Disadvantage on it.
you get disadvantage, or you can roll your own perception
No,
if you think that's more fitting. I'll leave it to two of you to decide.
I'm good to do it again. I got a +7.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Time flies and you're having rum, me boy. Time
That's
flies and you're having rum.
that one
Talon and I can only roll
Yeah.
twos and ones tonight.
Hey,
It's
you
even
know,
worse.
Flick.
Oh.
You know, Flick. Did I ever tell you
I
that if the
swear to
ocean
God,
were whiskey and I was a duck, I'd dive to the bottom and drown to get drunk? I'll eat when I am hungry, I'll drink when I am dry. If the hard times don't kill me, I'll lay down and die. Rye whiskey, rye whiskey, rye whiskey, I cry. If you don't give me rye whiskey, I sure will dry.
You just hear a thumping from below deck. Just keep it down up there.
I
People are
swear
trying
to
to
God,
sleep.
I only gave him one drink.
We need to put out the like proverbial hat to collect coins from people watching just to support Devin. And you can put
Isn't that what
coins.
bits are? Like,
But if
isn't that
I
like a little
get
tip jar?
boozy,
Sure.
my whiskey's my own.
You can pay us if you want to hear him sing more, or you can pay us if you want him to not. And
Yes,
it's
buy
depend-
Devin Silence.
Jack of Diamonds, Jack of Daniels, I know you of old.
or put in a
Rob
request.
me poor pockets
Sing
of
this one.
silver and gold.
I'm legitimately impressed by like the repertoire of these songs that you have, man. Like
Did his
I mean-
homework.
You could have a list of songs, but to remember the tune of all of them and how the,
I mean, they're all
how
pretty much the same
lines
tune.
go,
Let's be honest, but
And topical as well. Like
Yeah.
that's why I'm gonna give you inspiration right now because
Yay!
Hey,
because I too am impressed by like what like to be able to bring up one that has like exactly what we're talking about or like is on topic. That's
we blame him.
impressive.
There was a lot of topics for sailors to get bored about on the seas.
This is true.
But with that aside, back to your horrible perception check.
Yes.
So distracted a little bit by Flick, you guys are kind of reminiscing, drinking to the Intrepid Devil, and you're not really paying attention. You're not really sure what's going on around you. And as Flick has kind of moved off and left you, and you're still kind of ruminating and ruminating, and your watch passes, and before you realize it, Dinar finds you on the deck, deep in bottle and song.
Just splayed out on the floor.
Dinar's gonna put his big
62 bottles of beer on the wall. 62 bottles of beer.
Dinar comes up and he's kind of rubbing his forehead. Oh, this was a mistake.
I drink my own whiskey and finish your wine. Some 10,000 bottles I've killed in my time.
Dinar's gonna come over and rip the bottle out of your hand.
Ooh.
Hey.
Are you gonna contest that?
You could just ask. Nah, it's fine.
Can he? I was gonna say, is he like lucid enough to contest it?
No, that's exactly what I'm thinking, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Talon, why don't you tell me about your watch? What did you see?
So water
What else?
and sky.
Dinar's gonna take a quick look around the boat. Is there anything of note
Nothing
in a
on
quick
the boat.
glance?
No.
Put on the boat.
Other than the 17, no, I'm kidding. Just
The Sahuagin
No.
climbing the side?
yeah,
What do you want from me? I rolled a 1 and a 2, okay?
the swaggin have come from the archipelago for your treasure.
For the treasure.
On Malachor Mountain I wander
nothing on the boat.
alone.
Dinar's gonna
I'm
put his
drunk
hand
as
over his
the
mouth.
devil, oh, leave me alone.
Alright,
You
Talon.
may boast of
No.
your wisdom
No,
and
Taylor.
brag of your blood. Will both be forgotten in the wake of the flood.
He says
Put it down up there.
yeah.
Talon,
Your downstairs neighbors.
you're done. And Dinar is going to backhand toss the bottle overboard.
Oh,
Ooh, them's fighting words.
Oh, that was perfectly good.
I'm sure that
Oh.
it was, but it's clear you've had enough. Go get some rest.
I
And
closed my eyes, heave ho, heave ho, as the ship was rent.
Dinar's going to kind
Oh.
of grab him by the back of the scruff, the back of his jacket, and lead him over to the stairs down to the hold, and ever so gently shove him down.
Sounds a bit of a
The captain howled, heave ho, and tied me up with sheets.
Hey, Talon, give me a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage.
Sure can.
Drunkenly gets tossed down the stairs.
100%.
18.
Oh,
Hey, wow. Can't see
You
to save his
fool!
life.
Getting drunk only makes him stronger.
So, what you picture here, what you see here is like Jackie Chan, drunken master.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Like-
Like drunken Wu-Tang.
Like just like
perfect prep.
going down the steps, and it's like there's a weird stumbling gracefulness to it. And Dinar, you're fully expecting him to like face plant, but he manages to like pirouette instead, and like his feet just find every stair, and his somehow keeps his balance. And there's this weird gracefulness to it that's like, okay, sure.
He said, now hush, now here's your gown. There's the bed, lanterns down. I'm
Dylan's
begging
been
you,
thrown out of
please
so many
wake
taverns
me up.
and he's been thrown out of so many taverns and bars that like as soon as somebody starts manhandling him, the ultra instinct just kicks in.
It's just
Scold me, hold me, I'll be yours to keep. The only thing I beg of
As
you
the
is
door
don't
closes.
make me go to sleep.
Dinar's gonna mutter under his breath. I really need to keep sleep prepared.
Oh damn!
Gotta start spiking his dreams. All right, Dinar, as you try to shake off that little bit of frustration and distraction, go ahead and give me a perception check as your watch begins.
I can't roll good tonight. I rolled an 8 + 1 for 9.
Oh my word. Okay.
Apparently, Tayland has distracted me too.
You're it's hard to kind of gather your thoughts, and going through, man, I should have done this, or I'd love to just, you're just distracted, and you try to watch, and you kind of keep your eyes out, and you find yourself just gazing, and kind of off in the distance and drifting in thought a little bit, and even kind of like it's kind of a few moments where you realize you've been staring at nothing for the past few minutes, and and kind of blink again. And one of these times, as you kind of look around and you've been staring, your vision just kind of at nothing as your thoughts are drifting to the past, you kind of do a blink, and then you have to blink again as standing at the very prow of the ship, there's a shadow, roughly humanoid in size. No features. Just right at the very, very front. Just standing there.
Kind of imagine that Dinar was standing on the upper level at the back for his watch.
Okay.
Oh shoot.
Ah, jeez.
Those are not there, sorry.
Okay.
All right.
So I kind of picture Dinar as like up here, maybe standing behind the wheel.
Okay.
Spotting this thing ahead, not seeing features or anything. Dinar is going to take a couple steps to the right and see if it's perceptible that this shadow entity is watching or following.
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Uh, 10 + 1, 11.
Okay. Oops. Get rid of these guys too. As you move about, there's a general kind of tracking air to its body. It is aware of you, and it is kind of slightest little bit of movement. And as a cloud passes by the moon, Belzoon, and gives it that moment of kind of light as the moon illuminates the deck of the ship, you see a corpse, half bloated, half eroded away.
He wants a hug.
Is it?
What do you do?
Does it? Do I see in that moment of light? Do I see it covered in any of that black, oozy stuff?
Give me a perception check. So I'm just pulling you guys off the ship right now, since you guys are technically kind of below deck. I'll just move you out of the way there. Yeah.
Is it a member of the old crew?
Well, that's. I can't roll tonight. That's a 9 plus my perception of 1 for 10.
Hard to say. You don't see like any tentacles like coming off of it at all or anything. Whether it has any black goo on it, you're not certain. But I mean, you know it's a zombie. That much you're certain. Very similar to ones that you encountered previously during your passage through the Sea of Souls.
Oh.
Similar state of decay and bloatedness.
Okay, so it's not like that black ship that came alongside the Intrepid Devil. It's not like
Doesn't seem to be.
bad guys on that ship.
More like just a drowned corpse kind of look to
Okay.
it.
Dinara's going to walk up to the ledge. And I guess in those few steps, does the zombie react?
Hasn't moved.
Okay.
Just kind of stands there. It seems to be aware of you. It isn't moving towards you at all.
Keeping his eyes on the zombie, Dinara's going to slowly make his way down the steps to the main deck.
Okay.
Still no movement.
It kind of tilts its head a little bit as you approach.
Okay. Dinar is going to pull out a little piece of copper wire, wind it around his fingers, and then kind of point back to where the guys are, specifically targeting Flick.
Okay.
So, there's something undead on the deck.
Rousing the troops, Captain. Be right there. I will make a run through, knocking on cabin doors. I hope I can get Tailend up.
While Flick's doing that, Dinar will take another step forward. Towards.
I assume the Torque will be roused as well.
Yeah, I get you.
Oh, it's easily
get
enough.
Torque first. I had to give you 2 sharp raps on the cabin door, and then I'm off to try and get Tailend.
I like to think you knock once, and as you're knocking the second time, the door opens, and you just knock on his chest. Like he's just that ready.
Yeah. Talon, I'm going to have you give me a Constitution saving throw here to see.
Ooh.
Can do.
To see how out you were since you were
20.
Hey.
Okay.
Seriously.
Smokes.
Again, it's that like
Got a bit dwarf in me.
preternatural like
Booze only makes
instinct
him
in you.
stronger.
It's just that like always on edge kind of thing, right? Always
Yeah, for sure.
life at sea where you just, even though you've been like deep in the bottom.
I feel like who's waking me up? Am I just waking up on my own, or is someone coming to get me?
Flick.
I think
Flick was kind of
is,
going around.
hammering on the door. Yeah.
So I see it as like Flick hammering on the door, and Talon just immediately like whips the knife out from his pillow and comes up in a stance like, right, I'm not on the streets. Right, all right, okay.
Trouble on deck. Let's go help Dean.
What? What
Yeah.
time is it?
It's late o'clock. Let's
Why
go.
can't anything ever attack us in the morning?
So you guys would be coming out eventually kind of right between the 2 stairs there is where the door would open up. So I'll just kind of put you guys You can reach yourself as you are there. And at this point, we will go ahead and roll initiative.
It's a single zombie.
There's never just one zombie.
Metagame much?
Maybe it's a greater zombie.
A greater zombie?
That's a thing. They're pretty rough.
Blam.
Well,
And maybe there's like multiple phases to this boss.
my digital dice can roll just fine.
Maybe this is Dungeons and Dragons, and the DM can make up whatever creature he wants, and you have no idea what it's capable of.
It's a tank.
Well, I do know it's.
Maybe it's not even a
capable of-
zombie. Maybe it's just a really
dying.
ugly living man. Did we think of that?
Get
They have a skin condition.
You guys got a bath?
He's been hiding out in the brig this whole time.
Fittingly,
Came with the
Dinar,
Mhm.
you've got the jump here. So, what do you want to do?
Well, I mean, there's the quick dispatch, but
Magic missile him.
well, that's the quick dispatch. But then it's like, how come it hasn't been aggressive towards me? Is my thought.
Because it's one of the nice zombies? Is that what you're thinking?
Because it's well, that's not a nice zombie, but like,
go say hi.
what is it waiting for? Is more.
Get speak with dead.
No,
No, that would have been hilarious.
it's undead though. I don't know that would count.
It wouldn't count, but it would be funny.
All right. Dinar is going to take one more step forward to kind of put himself between the party and the zombie. And he's going to ready magic missile at 3rd level in case an aggressive action is taken by the zombie in front of me.
Okay. Noted.
And that'll be my turn.
Fittingly, Fleck, you would be the next up as you kind of rouse the troops and make your way up to the
Alright.
deck.
Um.
So we can say that you're kind of like at the door there, coming out.
Okay, so basically
Onto the deck.
that's one
Yeah.
space for me there.
Yeah, yeah.
So one. I will sort of scamper up to about here. I'll finally use my racial always watching trait. As a bonus action, I'll make a perception check.
Hey.
Perfect.
Watching
If there's
you
anyone
was
else
asking.
around. Because I'm super twitchy.
Always.
Oh,
Hey,
our
it's
first
about
nat
time.
20 of the night.
24 perception. Is there anyone else
24.
around?
Okay. So here's what you notice. This entity has a light in its eyes. It's a kind of purplish hue, and you recognize that kind of instinctively as something different. This isn't just a inhabited corpse, a reanimated corpse. There's something behind it, some sort of charm or arcane control that you can see in the eyes, and much more intelligent than you would expect. Your typical zombie, as you kind of approach it, kind of looks at you, and there's a bit of a not recognition, but an awareness, an intelligence behind the eyes. As your senses just kind of hone in and try to take in everything around you, you hear scratching sounds beside you and on the other side of the ship as well.
Yeah,
There is more than one.
Yeah. God, my first instinct is that this is like the spirit of our dead ship come to fight us.
I'm gonna write that down.
I mean, that's why I asked. Does it look like someone from the old crew that was
Yeah,
killed?
no.
No, I say even with that perception, you don't recognize
Okay.
the body. I mean, even it's in a pretty heavy state of decay, much longer than any of the crew that would have gone down with the devil. This is something else, somebody else, older. long since
I'm
dead.
still being super cautious here. So what I will do is I will actually forego a damaging spell, and I'm going to cast Protection from Evil and Good on myself.
Hey.
Okay.
So that means that undead creatures will have disadvantage when they try and attack me
Hey.
on account of I don't want to get attacked. Don't want to get swarmed by a dozen zombies. So that is a concentration thing. Thank you. Take off the spell slot, and otherwise that is my turn. I've moved, I've actioned, I've bonused.
Okay.
Oh, and yes, as my free object interaction, I will like a normal plebe draw my whip rather than having it appear in my hand because I already spent my bonus action.
The animated corpse takes a look at you, and those purple eyes flash just ever so slightly as it bores its gaze into you.
Yeah.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Wisdom save.
Oh boy, here we go.
Would that be considered an aggressive action?
Depends on what happens when he makes the save.
It's not an attack. He has to make a save, so it's not attacking you. It's one of those.
All right, here we go. Wisdom save. Hey, 18. I will take it.
Okay. In that moment, you hear dark whispers in your mind starting to penetrate. Just they manage to just kind of like shake it off and like avert your eyes and kind of block it out. And
I've heard this crap before.
as you do so, it just kind of cocks its head.
You're one of those guys from the spooky fog and the Sea of Souls, ain't you?
Its jaw kind of opens wider, unhinged than you would think normally. And this black goo just goes and spits out towards you.
Oh no!
Aggressive action.
So this is
Magic missile.
that is true. You can
If
do
I
your ready
may.
to action.
Okay.
Yep, you had it readied.
So this is
Sorry, this is
third
a
level.
disadvantage against you, right, Fleck? Because you're
Correct.
3, 4.
well, you're gonna be happy about that disadvantage because I rolled a nat 20 and a 16.
Hey.
But that's 16. That's 22 to hit still.
4, 10.
Then I will react and shield as well.
Okay. All
Double
right.
block that crap.
3,
Quickly
7,
burning
5,
through my spell slots
so
here.
11 plus 5, 16 damage from the magic missile. 16 force
16
damage.
Okay. You pepper it with your ship-shaped missiles.
Hey,
Which and it you see the damage, like you see these kind of holes like blasted into it. Physically it doesn't react at all. Just kind of takes them. But so as it spits out this black viscous goo, Fleck, you flash your shield up, and as it kind of hits and sizzles as it dissipates across your magical force field that
now
comes
we got
between
issues,
it and
buddy.
you.
But the black goo fizzles away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it hits his shield and kind of
Yeah,
Okay.
I blocked that crap.
Aeland, you, even in your drunken stupor, you're kind of like your adrenaline like pushes past the inebriation and like shocks you awake, and you push past Torque as you make your way up to the deck and reach the door.
Just going on pure instinct right now.
The door,
He's
which
more-
is currently open from Flick having opened it. You're
He's more
ready to
booze
go.
than man at this point.
Start to roll new
Yes.
stats for the alcohol. Like, can the
Creature
alcohol
pure.
make a wisdom save, please?
Because your pure rum-soaked instinct.
all right. Yes, I
said wine, not
am.
rum.
I'm going to move up. Get a better look at this thing.
Hey, like, don't ruin this craphead's day.
First of all, I'll give a nice little can do flick. Bardic inspiration to flick.
Nice.
And we'll be doing that with one gesture, while the other I'll pull out my gilded acorn, throw that up into the air, and call out Red Tail. And a child-sized parrot will appear.
Child-sized.
Yes.
So he's like flick size.
We talking like a 5-year-old or like a
Yes.
13-year-old? There's a lot of in between there.
Pretty much between 0 and 18. I mean,
Yeah. Okay. A
Yeah.
flick-sized parrot.
Love it.
Taylor, your little Willy got bigger.
use a rock beak for it.
Sounds good to me.
Let me give you control of it here. Bob Devin. There you go.
Oh.
All right. Now, I would like him to then grab onto my shoulders and lift me into the air.
Oh my god, he's doing a Castlevania.
And we're gonna. Is that considered an action on its part?
For it to grab, physically grab
Yes.
you and lift,
Yep.
that'd be its
Yep.
action. Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Okay. And we're gonna move on over here and get ready to do a double dive bomb attack.
All right. So as you move to that side of the ship,
I'm in the air.
you see
Perfect.
Oh golly. There's a few of these guys.
Yeah, just a couple.
4 of them just slowly and what you notice is that their fingers aren't digging in, they're not like using anything to climb, it's just
Spider-Man climb? Yeah.
they're just spider climbing, like
They're
just
adhesive.
moving their way slowly up. They are very slow.
It's the
Like
mucus.
their movement is very like
Yes. Target rich environment.
It's their mucus layer.
It's the
Yes.
mucus glare.
oh, remember when it's So pre-stream, we're gonna start with that. Please don't say mucus layer, but it has made its way
It's
into
like
stream somehow,
it's like
inevitably.
it's like the hidden phrase, like when you play Quiplash.
Yeah.
You said the secret word.
Yeah. So mucus layer has made its way into stream. No, that will not be the name of this episode. Anyways,
Oh,
Oh, I'm sure I'll think of something better.
Torque. You are last to reach the.
Does Talon tell us that this is a target-rich environment? Because that might influence my.
That's a good question, Talon. As you fly over the side and you see these 4 other.
Don't worry, Torque. You get that one. I'll take these 4.
Or
Yeah, I got it. Give him a right good peck.
All right, well, as a free action, I'm going to shout, Captain, form up near me. As I jump down, run over here. I know based on what Talon said that there's 4 on the right side, so Dunar, who goes after me, I'm going to ask him to just come up to me once the zombie's been dispatched. First, I'm going to
So
rage.
confident.
Yeah, you are.
Rage.
Well, experience has taught me that we shouldn't really leave the captain unsupervised. He is a squishy soul.
On the glass.
So as incredibly dexterous as these things are, that is a 3 on its dex save.
Fantastic. Is it 1d6 or 2d6 at this level? Let me just double check. Yeah, it's still 1d6.
Oh.
I'm gonna get 2d6 till 10. Yeah, so 2 lightning damage. In my enraged state, I will make 2 reckless attacks with my maul.
Yeah.
The first one will be a 26.
Yeah, 23 and 26 on that. Jeez.
Wow.
Yes, you definitely hit with a
Okay.
26. And then
That is
some.
going to be, if the damage loads,
there we go.
that'll be 16 bludgeoning damage,
Nice.
and I will attack again.
So you can save that second attack as with one just follow through, you just like your maul just like cleaves right through this thing's torso and just like obliterates it as it just bursts and kind of falls to the deck.
What happens?
The combination
to its eyes?
of the purple in the eyes does fade, and as the body kind of hits the deck, it starts to just turn into this sludge, just like dissolve.
Don't forget to mop that crap up.
Get behind me, Captain. I'm facing east for reference.
Yeah, we want you right here. That's kind of.
Okay. So that brings us to the top of the round.
Okay, so none of these zombies are visible to us yet, right? They're still climbing the side of the boat.
That would be correct.
Okay, so Dinar is not proud. He's going to go 5, 10, 15, and get in between the two fighters.
Beautiful.
How many do you guys think we're dealing with here?
I heard Talon say there's at least 4.
And I heard a bunch on this side, too.
Then again, he might be seeing double. We know he did drink a lot tonight.
There's a reason I'm letting the bird do most of the motor work.
All right, Torque, you dispatched him pretty quick. Flick, I'm going to give you a little advantage here.
Nice.
Little illusory image of Flick is going to appear in Dinar's hands, and he is going to enlarge Flick.
Suddenly I'm the same size as you.
Yep.
It's just like
So
like large for Flick is like 5'6".
Hold on. Let me get this straight. You're embiggening him when you could embiggen my bird.
I don't know what your bird can do.
he doesn't care about your bird.
Then I
Flick,
can
you are
ride
now. Flick, you are a whopping medium.
And enlarge gives me a bonus, what, D4 on damage?
I think it's a
so it gives you an
D4,
extra
yeah.
D4 on
Correct.
your weapon damage.
Alright, beautiful.
He's just like
Flick's like, I'm adult size.
You also have advantage on
he's like
strength.
5'7", like not even like tall by.
Yeah, it's true. Totally true.
He's probably still shorter than Tayland, to be honest.
Oh, totally. Totally.
But yeah, so you also
I mean,
have advantage
dwarf
on
is
strength
considered
checks
medium,
and strength saving throws.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. And that'll be Dinar's turn.
All right. Flick.
Well, with my new vantage point, can I see over the side from my higher...
You can see over the forecastle.
Taking a peek over, you see.
I like to think he
guy's
didn't
kind
like
of
grow in like a uniform.
there.
Like he's not like to scale with his original size. I like to think that he just like elongated.
Yeah. His
Like
neck.
his arms, like his arms and legs stretch out, but everything else is like the
Stretch
same size.
Armstrong.
He's got like these lanky ass gibbon arms.
Flat Stretch Armstrong is what we're going here. You do see 2 more, yeah, that are again slowly just
How far down the side is this guy?
like 10 feet still.
So I can reach him from where I am with my 10-foot reach whip?
You can, yeah.
Sweet. Then I will whip him twice. Alright, so I will add that, and I will go. Okay. Still concentrating on that. Here goes the whip. 26 probably hit.
Yes, sir.
I will throw my Fury at the small on this because why not?
You're not small anymore.
16 damage.
Nice.
Fury of the medium.
Yes.
Fury of the average.
That's a different kind of Fury, isn't it?
It's semi-furious. Sort of a run-of-the-mill Fury, you know.
Is he still kicking?
Yeah, but so again, like with the damage, like you whip him and you take a good chunk of like flesh, like right off of him, but no reaction. Doesn't
And I will
respond to it at all.
tag that same guy again. 13.
13 will hit,
Ooh,
actually.
nice.
Then another 9 points of slashing damage.
Nine. Okay. A couple of good whip slashes, taking chunks off of him. Still hanging on.
This one's hardier.
Figuratively and literally.
All right, I'm done. Not gonna
Okay.
move. I'm.
All right. This guy will move his full 15 feet of movement and get to the top. This one will also move his 15 feet and get to the top. We'll get to the other ones in a second. So this guy at the top here, as he comes over the deck, and you see these eyes just kind of glowing. And Dinar, it fixes its gaze directly in your direction. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Okay. I'm good at these.
Mind the eyes.
I'm trained in wisdom saving throws.
That's a good noise, right?
Yeah. I gotta stop using this dice, clearly. That's a 5 plus my 4 for 9.
9. You hear these dark whispers kind of enter your mind. And
Gesundheit.
your mind kind of becomes fuzzy and you find it hard to concentrate, hard to focus, hard to think. You are stunned.
Does that affect concentration spells?
No.
It does
Wait.
not.
Are you considered incapacitated?
Actually, yes, you are. So yes.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so Flick,
Yeah.
Flick gets 1 turn of enlargement.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So you cannot take actions or reactions. You can't move, and your speech is very just like faltering. You fail strength and dexterity saving throws, and any attack rolls against you have advantage.
Bert just looks over. Are you drunk too?
At the end of your next turn, you can roll re-roll your wisdom save to
Okay.
break out of it.
Dang.
The other one is going to come up on deck here, and Flick, having saved against the gaze previously, you are immune.
Beautiful.
And so as it like stares its eyes at you, but you just kind of like, what are you looking at? And has no effect on you. But it is going to open its jaw and make another spit at you. At disadvantage, I rolled double 12s. So that's 18 to hit.
No, sir. 19 is the magic number.
Okay. So you manage to just kind of dodge out of the ways it goes wide.
That one goes off the shield. Like the physical shield, not the magical shield.
Yeah. Tailend, the one that is crawling up the ship closest to you, kind of just turns its head impossibly, all the way around.
360.
Yeah.
Makes a spit attack at you.
Oh.
That's a 10, so that's not going to hit.
No, it will not. Aha! Aha! I dodged!
On deck. And
Drunken
on deck.
dodge!
Torque,
Yeah.
this one is going to turn its gaze on you. Can I get you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Okay. If you say so. That's a 16.
16. You manage to shrug off even as you hear these whispers enter your mind. So it has no effect on you, and you are now immune to their gaze. Have no further effect on you. But it does open its jaw, make a spit at you. You did reckless last time, right? So
Yeah, advantage.
that's 23 to hit.
Yes, that will hit.
You take 6 points of necrotic damage.
All right. Quick question, because I haven't been doing this. Should I deduct the hit points on my D&D Beyond character sheet as well as my Roll20 character sheet, or?
However you want to track it.
I mean,
I guess do it on D&D Beyond because we do have the
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like
plugin.
I'm thinking production value. Yeah.
Shoot. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I should probably update mine for level 6.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
remember how professional we are? Kidding. All right.
I mean-
Tailend.
Yeah, snap out of that, Dinar. Come on. Come on. I'll give you a bardic inspiration.
This is your bardic inspiration.
There you go. That'll do it.
A puppy. This is Griffin. Say
He
hi,
summoned
Griffin.
he summoned another beast.
How does bardic inspiration work again?
So when you make your save to negate that effect, you can add a d6 onto it.
Okay.
Unless you don't need to, in which case you can hold on to it for something else.
Okay.
Here's your
And then-
inspiration flag. There you go.
Then I would like to ready an action, a spell, for when my giant parrot has moved into position.
Giant Parrot. That's like sounds like a French actor's name for sure.
Yes. I'm going to wait until it has moved into position, and then I will enact my spell. And I shall now have my parrot attack this zombie that decided he dared to
Look at
spit
you.
at me.
Oh yeah, he spit at you.
He spat at me, and that's just unacceptable. So he is going to attempt to peck its face off.
Okay.
Spell attack
call, good call.
modifier to hit, which is going to be +6. All right. Hit him. 23.
23 will most definitely hit.
Nice.
I would hope so. So he's going to take 6. Oh!
14. Damn.
14 piercing damage.
Very nice.
Good.
Nice
Good
hit.
From a beat.
Does he survive that?
Yep.
That's unfortunate. All right, then this is what I will do. I am now that he has moved and has positioned himself. He will then fly maybe 5 feet up. With flyby, he doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. And lay off now, you lubbers. Lay off now, I say. I need them. All 3 of the line in front of me to make a dex save, please.
So that one,
That one?
and that one.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll do.
Okay. All right. So here we
Give me
go.
away, hey.
Amazing deck saves coming.
Blow
from
the man down. I'll none of your dodges on my ship today. Give me some time to blow the men down.
So 10 for the first one.
That is a fail.
Natural 20 for the second one.
God
Dang.
damn it.
And a 3
All right.
for the last
Net.
one.
I mean, I figured, I
Wait,
figured
that's the wide net.
Dex was a good choice in this instance. As a massive wave of water will course up over the ship and slam into all 3 of these things. So the one that succeeded will take half damage. The other 2 will take full damage and be knocked prone. 27 bludgeoning damage.
Oh. Okay, so the one here, clinging to the side of the ship, doesn't get knocked prone because it's dead.
Yes.
And so it just it just gets obliterated, like becomes just like slush against the side of
It's
the
like
ship.
taking a fireman's hose straight to the thing.
It just
What spell was that?
Tidal wave.
Oh,
tidal wave.
nice.
So
Blah, blah,
27
blah. Tidal
damage
wave!
on that one. So that one had already been damaged by Flick.
I
this one
am
here.
the storm that is approaching.
And this one takes.
Bit out of your genre.
13.
But hey, I'm
Right.
glad you're motivated.
That's
So
2
you
in one go.
obliterate 2 of them. To be fair, Flick had already significantly damaged the one.
And
So-
for that, I am grateful. I
He
did
gets
give
at
him
least
bardic
half that
inspiration.
kill.
That's
He gets
true.
at least half
I-
that kill.
It was an inspired kill.
When we're tallying up here, that's 0.5 of that at least. All right, that brings us to Torque then.
Okay, well, I saw this one giving the stink eye to our captain, so I'm gonna run up. First, I will ask him to make a dexterity save.
Do you ask him? Please make a dex.
Well, I won't ask nicely.
Oh, that's a 14.
Yeah, let me double check the DC on that.
18 minus 4. Good old minus 4 to dex. Great.
That's pretty harsh.
Yeah, if it meets beats, so he'll only take half of this.
Okay.
So he takes
Hey.
3 lightning damage, and then
Okay.
I will attack
We
him.
are rolling up a storm right now. Oh my god.
I will attack him
he was trying to, but he failed.
recklessly.
Okay,
I
reckless.
may.
Yep, you may.
Wow.
23.
Nice.
23 to hit, absolutely.
Okay, so that's going to be 9 bludgeoning damage.
9.
Not the best, although I do get to attack again.
You do. Remove the rest of his ribs.
15.
15 will hit.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that'll be 12. And I will also use my Crusher feat on this attack to try and knock him back 5 feet, i.e. off the edge of the ship.
Totally.
Get off my boat.
Is there a save on that, or is it just part of your...
It's just
strength, right? Or is
once per turn with a melee attack, I can just push someone 5 feet away from me.
So he is going off the edge. I'm going to have him make a dex save to see if he can hang on, but we know how good they are at that. Yeah, I rolled a 2, -4.
So minus
So, yeah, he goes off and just splashes into the water.
2. But still
but
alive.
See him floating there? All right.
He's still
Well,
alive.
slowed him down at least.
I can finish that one off.
He kind of goes below the water, and then you see him just kind of like unnaturally float right back up to the top again, and just kind of look at you from underneath the water. You can see the purple, like, kind of dispersed in the water. Yeah.
I haven't actually used much movement yet this round, so
Yeah, you only want
I'm
5.
just going to interpose myself between the captain and these beasties here then.
Hello, beastie.
All right. So Dinar, you are stunned. Your mind is scrambled eggs right now. At the end of your turn, you can give me a wisdom save, please.
No thoughts,
Okay.
head empty.
So I can't do anything, so I'll just save.
That's right. This is the end of yeah. This is it. Your turn is a wisdom save. That is all.
Alrighty. Seriously?
Would adding a d6 be of any help to you?
Maybe. So I rolled another 5 plus 4,
Ooh.
so 9. I will roll the d6, which gives me another 5. So 14.
14. That will do it.
Hey.
Ah!
So I will kind of shake it off. What the heck is going on?
So
There's
you,
one overboard. I would recommend you finish that one before Caleb does.
so you use your inspiration. That is the end of your turn, though.
Yep.
So Flick comes to you.
All right.
You see the captain kind of shake off.
Glad you're back with us, D. Gonna need your pew pew in a moment here. I will
Roger that.
step up to here and start whipping. So this guy standing next to Torque. 25 gonna hit.
Yes, sir.
All right. 10 points of slashing damage to him.
Okay. Takes that.
And I will
Looking rough.
tag
Not that he looked good to begin with, but
You are, yeah.
16 to it.
16 will hit, definitely. Yeah.
He looks deader than dead.
He's more undead. An undead.
Undead.
Unundead.
He's dead.
Re-dead.
Ooh, that's the one right there.
Re-dead. There we go. 8 damage.
Yep.
That will do it.
If we're giving Flick a 0.5, I get a 0.5 for that one too.
Hey, fine. You just get that's 1 then, 2 or whatever. Yeah. Sure. Awesome. The ship gets all of it.
I will keep
Yes.
you, like,
Nicely
crack-
done, Flick.
The second whip comes and like
get up to there.
right at kind of the collarbone and just like snaps in half, and as the head just kind of like separates and detaches from one side and just
Yeah, I basically get him as I'm running by, sort of to slash him around the leg and take it off and put him on the ground,
awesome.
and end up here at the base of the ladder. Hopefully,
Okay.
tie up these guys.
Okay. All right. That brings us to their turn. So Buddy in the water is going to very slowly begin to climb his way back up. He kind of just gets to the point where he gets half of his body out of water as his hands are attached to the side. And he just kind of starts to scale. Flick.
Yes,
The one in front of you is going to slash at you as you are within its range directly.
All right.
That's going to be a 16 to hit on the first swipe. And that's a natural 20 on the second one. For a total of 26, but it's not.
Yeah.
So,
Ouch.
so that's going to be double the damage, or double the dice here.
That is gonna suck.
So that is going to be. That's going to be 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Not bad.
And I maintain concentration on my spell. Great. That natural 20, was that with disadvantage still?
No, that was not. I rolled a 1.
Hey, I'll put those 9 points back on. You would cast that spell for a reason.
Thank you for reminding me of that. And is there anything better than that on a disadvantage? The 20 on the one dice and the 1,
Yeah,
just the ultimate other end of it,
that feels
in your
good.
face, gross, undead jerk,
Oh man,
beauty.
that's funny.
So both of his swipes just totally miss, or you kind of with your whip, almost you kind of swipe the hands away. This guy up on top is going to come to the top of the railing here, and he is going to huck a loogie down at you.
I see us up there.
I will roll disadvantage this time.
Good.
Yeah, 3 plus, so 9. So no, you kind of hear it coming at you, whoa. Tayland.
Yes.
So you cannot see that guy on the other side. Just FYI, he is down.
Well, I would have seen
water level.
Torque knock him down, but that would have been the
You would have, yes, but you would not see where he is. At this
Right.
point.
I know he's. I also probably don't know if he's actually dead or not. Yeah.
Yep. I
Yeah.
would say that's. Accurate.
I shall then deal instead with this Joker, and I will. Hey, you know what? It worked really well last time.
Yep, welcome to the
So
party.
let's give this the old college try once again. Let's give it the old pecking the face off,
Okay. Yeah.
followed by a good old, torrent of horrible water. 22 to hit.
22 definitely hits.
Yeah, it does. 10 piercing damage.
Okay.
And once again, I'll those two ones, the two there, to make a dex save.
Now is this going to hit Flick as well?
No, I am angling. It's going in a straight line, and I'm choosing to make it a 5 foot wide.
Okay.
So it only just hits that one line.
So you're going to target this guy from where you are, and it'll clip that guy. Essentially, is kind of how that's going to.
Well, I don't. It doesn't technically have to be a line right from me.
Okay. What's the height of this though? Because he is up.
It's
on
10
the...
feet. 10 feet high.
Okay. So it won't actually.
Can I do it can I summon it mid height? And would that still affect the first one?
Through.
So if you summoned it 5 feet high, it would miss the guy below, but would hit the guy above. So you can either hit the one on the bottom, or you can hit the one.
So
on the
they're
top
15.
because-
They're
Can we
15
just
feet
run it with cover rules, and maybe just give the guy up top just like a bonus to his.
Well, he'd have full cover because
Okay.
there's a railing and he's 10 feet above. So
Okay. I mean, in that case, I'll just stab this guy.
yeah.
Stabbing works too.
Stab! Oh, 13.
That hits.
Yay!
Yeah. They don't have. They're zombies, man. Zombies. don't
11
have
acid damage as my brine-soaked blade stabs into the thing.
Nice. Gets a good gash on him. He's still standing,
Then
but
I'm
looking
gonna
rough.
back up back into the sky.
Okay. You adjacent to him there when you mean just so he is going to get to.
No, flyby. Although maybe he can attack me.
He can attack you because
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Because you don't have flyby.
Correct.
15.
Yeah, that gets me.
15. You take 4 points of slashing damage.
Ow! How dare you!
As he somehow quickly, like they're pretty slow, but he just manages to kind of just get out. And it's like
I imagine them like as I'm pulling the sword out, he gets me in the arm or something.
Gets out and slashes. Yeah. All right, Torque.
You rotting bastard!
Okay, here I go.
Hey, my parents were married.
This is the one here that just attacked Talon, right?
Correct.
Okay. I would like him to make a dexterity save.
Yeah, that's a 4. -4, which is 0.
Fantastic.
Guys are rolling great.
Speaking of 4s, for lightning damage.
Nice.
And then I will attack him.
You just look at him and he goes
in a reckless manner.
Beautiful. Would expect nothing less, Mr. Torque.
Ooh, first hit is going to be an 18.
18 will hit. Yes, sir.
Very good.
So that'll be 10 bludgeoning damage.
That will do it.
That'll do what?
Him.
Oh, is he dead? All right.
I was gonna say he's taking some damage.
I softened that one up.
Yep.
How tall are these? How? Actually, well, I could just use the ladder. Let's not get fancy.
It's 10 feet.
I moved 15 feet, so
he's 10 feet up there.
20, 25, 30, 35. Yeah, I can do that. And I will make a reckless attack against him as well.
Cool.
That's got to be the fastest ladder climb we've ever done.
It's more of a leap.
It's more of like
yeah, just kind of a salmon ladder.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh man, that'll be an 18.
18 will hit.
Yeah, I feel like hitting these things is not going.
So that'll be 12 bludgeoning, and I will also use my crusher feat here to push him 5 feet overboard.
Beautiful. I'll try to do his best to hang on. And I rolled another 1. Wow, these guys. I mean, I know they have a -4 at the deck save, but it's even worse when I'm rolling like no higher than a 4 on them.
Yeah.
So he just... And from 15 feet, he's going to take 1d6 bludgeoning damage as he hits the water.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's not going to attempt to break his fall in the water being a zombie.
Nope, so that's another 4 damage from the fall as he hits the water hard. But he kind of comes back to the surface and just looks up at you with those angry purple eyes.
I just scared him back. I'm immune, baby.
You are immune. Dinar, you're also immune now.
I got my vaccination.
Okay. Yeah, once you've been affected by it.
Okay.
So once you've either been affected by it or you've saved it against it, then it has no effect on you for 24 hours. So you guys are good. All right, Torque, if that's the end of your turn, then it comes to top of the round and Dinar.
All right, so Torque told me to finish off the guy that fell overboard. And I can't see him, or I could just see him hitting the...
From where you are, you won't see him, though. You'd have to move to come over to the rail to see over the side of the ship.
In that case, then Dinar's going to cautiously approach, just get to here, take a look over, and assuming I see it, Dinar will throw a firebolt at the zombie.
Pew pew, yep, you do see him.
All right, so this is +7. It's a 3 for 10.
10 will not hit. They're not that squishy.
I'm useless tonight.
So very, 100%. Hey, you said it.
You're not wrong.
Man, I got a kill count of 2, and I'm stone drunk.
It's true. You just get wide over the head. Kind of misjudge the angle of the shot. Your fireball hits the water and fizzles and creates a little bit of steam from the surface of the water.
All right, then Dinar will back off then. 5, 10. Well, that's 10, 15. Go back even one more. 20 to here, and that'll be my turn.
Did you get him, D?
No.
All right.
Still feeling a little woozy from that stun.
I'll come mop up. So I will move. Like so. Is he within 20 feet of me from here?
10 down, and then he'd just be in. Because he's up out of the water, which is 10 feet down. So sure.
All right, I will chuck a dagger at him then.
Hey.
All right, so dagger thrown is this. Here we go. Hey, does a 20 hit? Dirty 20?
20 hits, absolutely.
All right, so 9 piercing.
That will do it.
Bonus action, dagger appears back in my hand.
Out of the eye socket that it went through.
Shake the goo off it. All right,
and as it's turning to goo, it just like sloughs back into the water and hits the water and starts to become this black viscous grossness.
I picked you up, buddy. No problem. Smack on his butt.
The technical term, grossness. That's what that becomes.
Thank you, Flick.
It's in the DMG. Yeah.
That was. I guess I got 1 square movement left. I'll start headed back towards the other guy, and I'm done.
This one is going to get to the surface of the water, and how high are you? Are you just at like deck level? 7?
I'd be maybe about 5 feet above deck level.
Okay, so
that'd
that's
be about 5 above that.
The point is, I'm trying to stay out of melee range of anything.
okay. So you're within 30.
Even though these things can spit, so that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So okay. So it is okay. So it's gonna spit at the bird.
No, don't do
If
that.
it stunned the bird, would the bird drop tail end?
Yeah, I would.
He's not. It's not doing its gaze though. It's just spitting.
Okay.
So
The water's really a problem for me.
17.
On the bird?
Yeah.
I think that hits. Yes, it does. Its armor
gonna
class
be
is 13.
9 points of necrotic damage.
Ouch.
That's a black blob just
That
burns your
certainly-
willy.
It certainly hurts.
And it will move its 15 feet and just kind of get to the. It'll just get up on deck with that.
That thing's so dead.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's one left, and all of you guys. So, Tailend, it's your turn.
Right. Red Tail's gonna move over here in the boat, drop me off, and then which doesn't require an action. And then I will ready a spell, and then he's going to go ahead and make an attack on the thing.
Okay.
Good hit should do it.
For a 16 to hit.
16 hits.
Pecks its face for 11 piercing.
11. So close.
Oh.
Still up. Still
That's
up.
okay. That's okay. I got my spell now. The thunder growled like demons, and the lightning stabbed the waves.
Hey.
And Red Tail would just kind of fizzle out into a poof of red feathers as a boom of lightning in the sky will crackle, and a streak of lightning will come down right next to the zombie. Please make a dex save.
Oh, goody.
I hear they're really good at those.
So good. So amazing. Watch this be the nat 20 right here. Right?
Respect.
I swear to God.
Nope. 13 minus 4. So,
9.
yeah.
12 lightning damage.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yes!
And 3 hit points left. Bam!
Oh, I could have used my sword. Oh well.
The lightning hits it and, like, just eviscerates it, like smoke and ash and just like black puddle of goo left in its
Even
place.
though that was a magical spell, Dinar is unsettled by the use of lightning on the boat.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Orcus, if anything, got like a little bit of newfound respect for Talon now.
Dinar's actually going to run over to the front of
you
Talon
too
and-
summon the storm.
and grab him by the shirt. And say, what are you thinking?
What? I hit
Cannot
him.
call lightning onto a boat.
I hit the zombie. I didn't hit the boat.
Can I get a perception check from all of you, please?
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Perception.
Hey, 19.
19 for Flick.
24
24 for Torque.
Ooh,
20.
20 for Talon.
I'm
Did
good
I-
at perception.
Dinar got a total of 8.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So
That makes sense though.
It's true, I'm busy.
all of you except for Dinar, you become aware of two things. A sizzling sound and the smell of burning wood. And as you look across the deck where these things have kind of turned into goo,
Oh
you
boy.
can see little wisps of smoke
you gotta be kidding me.
We gotta get
coming
these
up
we
from
gotta get
where
these-
they have
So as Dinar shaking me,
salt.
Captain, a word?
Yeah, we got issues here, Skipper.
Dinar will drop you, pull out his decanter of endless water.
Nice.
And he will speak. What's the biggest amount here? Is it geyser?
That would probably be the one to go
guys,
with.
it
Yeah.
would be the one.
Fire
I think,
hose?
I think
Yeah.
geyser's the big one. There's 3 things that you could say: stream, fountain, geyser.
Guys,
Dinar's gonna say geyser and like a fire hose, aim it at all the goo and try to
Hose off the deck.
hose off the deck, basically. Yeah.
Super Mario
Okay.
Sunshine!
Anybody else doing anything to add to that?
I mean,
Any bodies that are like in the process of decomposition, Torque will quickly start to like shove them overboard before they can. Yeah.
yeah, if it'll help, I'll throw in a gust of wind.
Like
to
he'll
start.
literally like put away the maul, take out the trident, and like a pitchfork, like he's pitching hay.
Beauty,
Just
beauty,
start
awesome. This is our
Stab
swab.
into the
This is our
zombies
swab
and
the
just-
deck moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, just gust of wind, windy weather, boy, stormy
Okay.
weather.
Flick adding to this at all?
I can't really think of anything other than just grabbing mundane tools, whatever we've got, mops and stuff, just get the crap off of here, whatever I can
Alright.
use.
I mean, if it's acid, maybe we can neutralize it with a base.
Start
Says
peeing
Torque.
on it. All right.
Says
Everybody
Torque
have
the
some
Barbarian
milk.
Pirate.
That's
milk
out of
stats.
character.
Yeah. So between the 4 of you, with those efforts, I'd say you do manage to get them off. There's trivial damage to the deck. There's a couple of burn
Superficial.
spots. Superficial, that's the word.
And a
Oh, Torque.
But
It's buff it out, yeah.
all in all, you managed to get rid of the undead disintegrating goo.
That was evil. I'm impressed.
The night is quiet around you.
Right. Well, that sobered me the hell up. I guess I'm up now.
It seems our past failings are eager to catch up with us.
Oh, well, Torque, it's okay to admit failure now. I mean, I did just take the lead with lightning.
By a single point,
We're gonna have a conversation about that lightning.
Anyway, do we want to move from this place?
that may be for the best.
I mean, what time is it now? We're like midnight?
I'm pretty awake.
Yeah,
You're
Can't
probably
think-
you're probably after midnight now, so you're like 1 or 2 a.m. kind of in the middle of the night.
Would we be pushing for exhaustion if we were to do that? Honestly, I would. I'm okay with that.
If you were to sail on at this point without completing a full rest, then yes, you would have exhaustion.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because we put a lot into that fight, and if it happens again,
Let's split the difference. We'll put, half an hour, 40 minutes behind us and then drop anchor again and try again.
Yeah, I think that's the best option.
Yeah, that might make the most sense.
Torque will take first watch this time because he didn't really get a watch last time, so it's only fair.
Okay.
And yeah, Flick will take second watch because I wasn't scheduled to have one last time.
Okay. So you spend about how long do you want to spend moving away?
Better
Maybe
part
like-
of an hour?
I'd be like, yeah,
Yeah, why don't we put a little bit more distance between us and that whirlpool and whatever just came up? Yeah. Let's go an hour.
Okay.
do we want to go closer to land or further out to sea?
Well,
I'm partial to closer to land because personally I feel like we're going to deal with less nonsense.
More
Yeah.
understandable nonsense coming from this.
That-
yeah.
That as well, yeah. We did have an island attack us at one point.
I was
so-
going to say, we're not far from that island either, so
Also, yes.
Not.
yeah. Let's go closer to land so we're in slightly shallower water.
Okay.
And then we'll anchor down and try to complete a long rest.
All right. So even though we are well into our stream, plus halfway, I think we owe it to ourselves and others. So let's just take a quick break, very short break here, and we'll be back in a few minutes. All right. welcome back. All right. So you have sailed the Stormcaller a little bit further away from both the Intrepid Devil and from whatever these creatures were, these purple glowing-eyed, gross-spitting undead, in the hopes of getting a little bit more clearance to find some safety for. Are you going to attempt to rest at this point here, or?
I think that we owe it to ourselves to try.
Yeah, we got halfway through, so I don't know how that works.
So this essentially would be restarting, because you were only one watch in, so you're only like a few hours in. None of you really got anywhere close to the requisite for a long rest. So this was a battle and then an hour afterwards. So this would be a reset essentially.
Where's the rum?
If that is what you would like to do, then that is what we shall do. So probably about 3 o'clock in the morning at this point, 2 or 3, somewhere around there.
Oof.
We'll sleep late and get a proper rest.
Excuse to sleep in.
Yeah.
So if you're going the full the 8 hours, then it basically will take you to 10 a.m.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to that.
So.
I burned a lot of spells there.
So we'll just be going off the same sleep schedule as my freshman year. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So who's going to take first watch?
I believe it was.
Torque will, yes.
Torque? Okay.
Torque, would you like some watch rum?
You know what? I will.
All right, so Torque is on first watch. Who's got second?
Like he'll go second.
Flick. Third.
Dinar.
Dinar.
Phelan has either on purpose or accidentally done it so poorly he's not going to be asked to again.
I rolled 2 d20s, okay? I tried.
All right. Torque. Go ahead and give me a perception wetch. Not a perception wet.
A perception check.
Yes. Please give me a reception, please, as you begin your watch.
Oofa doofa. That's a 14.
14. Okay. You begin your watch a little bit wary, kind of trying to keep a keen eye, even as you feel that exhaustion a little bit kind of wearing in as you've been up a little bit later than you've intended. But your watch comes and goes with not much of anything happening. The clouds finally clear as the tail end of that storm front pass over and leave a clear sky once more, and you can see the light of Belzoon and infinite number of stars in the sky above, signaling the end of your watch. As you are approaching close to pre-dawn.
I think that in a sort of melancholy malaise, Torque accidentally takes a slightly longer watch than normal just because he just kind of stares at the stars for a while and loses track of what time it is.
It's nothing to do with the watch rum.
No, he has it at his side, but he hasn't actually touched it.
Mm.
And then at the end of his watch, when he realizes what time it is, he will walk to the edge of the boat, uncork the bottle, and just slowly pour it out into the ocean before going to wake the next person.
Talon in his sleep is just like, no. No. No.
And he rolls over and clutches the bottle.
Horrible nightmare. Perfect. Perfect. Flick. Second watch is yours.
All right.
The sky is just hinting at that pre-dawn light.
Perfect. Lots of light to read by. 12 on the perception.
Distracted by the night's events. Getting yourself into the book a little bit. Trying your best to read by what light there is. The sky grows lighter, and it's one of those moments where you're so into your moment, so into the book, into reading, into your studies, that time just passes. And you kind of, at the start, you kind of look up and realize how light it is. Realize the end of your watch has probably come, but taking a quick look, there's nothing on the horizon, nothing of danger around the ship at all. Everything seems calm and safe.
As long as I'm able to get a full rest in, I'll stay up. Tori took a long watch, I'll take a long watch, and if
Okay. So you figure being probably about 3 hours or so, and
I'll go get Dee out of his bunk. All right, Skipper, she's all yours. Beautiful day coming in.
We could use the break.
Perception check, Dinar.
Oh, okay. Hey, 19 plus 1, 20.
Perfect. Okay. How do you set about taking your watch?
It's been a while since Dinar's really had a lot of time to think about what spells he's preparing. So, Dinar will just sit on the upper deck around the wheel and just mull over his spell sash and select his spells for the day.
Okay. As the light begins to really kind of take hold as dawn breaks, and your surroundings kind of come to life, and you see a little bit of early morning mist kind of coming up off the water, a little bit of dew, and there's the freshness to the air. Even at sea here, there's after that the strength of the storm yesterday has kind of left that nice, like, fresh petrichor scent just lingering, and it's a really nice smell. Something kind of draws your attention from the stern, just kind of behind you, and as you take a peek back beyond the salvage winch and look kind of from where you've come, you can just make out sort of in the direction of where the devil went down, and just at the surface of the water you can see like a black bubble just and then pop right where Torque had mentioned that he'd seen a black mass. You figure it's safe to say that where the devil went down, whatever had assaulted your ship and got aboard and eaten through the hull, is not only still present but has somehow grown and is infecting that area to a pretty significant degree.
The sending stone that Flick has, who is that attached to on the other end?
That would be Captain Boone, I believe.
All right. Jeez. Well, I don't want to interrupt Flick's sleep. But Dinar is going to sit on the stern, looking at this black bubble, making sure it's not getting any closer.
Okay. It doesn't approach, it's distant enough. Like you've gained some distance between the site of the wreck and where you are now, but you can just make out on the horizon where the spot is, and you can see activity there. And it's not like writhing mass, roiling, bubbles and black tentacles. It's just enough of activity to kind of catch your eye and let you know that there is something going on there.
All right. Well, Dinar will stay the rest of his watch there, and assuming nothing else happens when everybody awakes.
Rest of your watch goes uneventfully.
We'll go to Flick. You have that sending stone, right, Flick?
Sure do, Skipper. What's up?
Well, on my watch, I spotted something back the way that our intrepid devil was. I think we need to warn the Port of Sands that something's coming up.
Yeah, I guess Captain's knickknacks are not going to be rescuing themselves, huh?
No. I'm almost wondering if we want to try to get word to Jorund. He might be the only one powerful enough to hold it at bay or do something about it.
Or even know what the hell it is.
Yeah, that's another possibility.
All right, well, yeah, Captain Boone was definitely there firsthand, so he'll be able to... If we tell him that the black crap is still there and getting bigger, then he'll know what it means, right?
Yeah, so I think you should use that sending stone and get the message to Captain Boone.
All right, here we go. Out it comes. Boop. Hey, Captain Boone. It's us. Happened by the resting place of the devil. May she rest in peace. However, that black crap is growing.
You got is.
Hey? That's it?
You got to is.
Nice.
The most dramatic point where you could have ended your message.
That black crap is
Flick,
what?
That's not anxiety ridden at all.
No.
Flick, I think
That's
we need to have a conversation about that stone.
I mean, what?
It's 25 words.
Yeah? Oh.
Yeah, so you just left them with a massive cliffhanger.
Oh, he can fill in the blanks. Come on, man.
Maybe.
He's
He's a smart guy.
A few moments go by. Turns into a minute. A couple minutes. There's no response.
Huh. We're supposed to get a wrinkle back on this, right?
Yeah, he can respond to
There
that,
ain't nothing coming in.
assuming he's there on the other end. It's mid-morning, so it's not like he'd still be asleep.
You
I
get no
wonder if
response.
Dinglenut's runics finally caught up.
Not inaccurate, no.
New formal name here.
Mhm.
Runix Dinglenuts. All right.
And that's 2 notes you've made on me already. That's
That's great, man. I love it.
banner night for me.
Yeah, not only players but DMs take note of what your players saying, dude, because there's some gems, man. Beautiful inspiration for me. Yeah, so you get no response from Boone.
Well, that's disconcerting.
Yeah.
Because if nothing else, that gives us no reassurance that anyone's going to do anything about this. Because I don't know what to do to that.
Well, and we don't have any other way to send a message.
Yeah.
Not beyond 150 feet.
Considering how eager Torque is to go kill a god, he's just kind of leaving that alone.
Well, all things in due time. Clearly, we're not strong enough to fight it now, but soon.
Yep, add another one to the list. So we got weird fishy guy at the bottom of the trench there, and now a puddle of black goo. Our laundry list is getting bigger and bigger.
My theory is that if we take it out at the source, that will eliminate all traces as well.
With any luck, yeah.
I like your thinking. Might be wishful thinking, but I like it anyway. Positive attitude. That's what we need going into this. That and maybe a lot more weapons. But anyway, we've got a green circle to sail to. I say we start sailing.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing we can do about that goo. So,
unless any of you has any brilliant ideas on what to do about that. I don't think collecting samples does anything other than put our new ship in danger.
yeah. We could try to
Know
light
where
it
it
on
is?
fire, but
Yeah. Hard to light a fire underwater, too.
you're not wrong.
Not impossible, but it's hard, I heard.
Grease.
I would rather we not start an oil fire on the surface that would cause untold damage to the local ecosystem, which Deshuna would be.
Kalen just points
Disapproving
at the
of.
giant black damage to the local ecosystem.
More so than it already is.
It's like that, but on fire.
Any of you know how to make signal fires?
But Tori know how to do that.
All right, hold on. Why do you need a signal fire?
I'm just trying to think about how do we get a message over to the Port of Sands.
Or give me a survival check.
Yes, sir. That's an 8, but for the record, I rolled a 3, so that is a little plus 5.
Ugh.
I don't like when the
What,
dice make me out to be a fool.
Never,
What do you
never
want?
occurred to you.
What do you want the message to say?
I don't think Torque ever actually intended to be found, so it was never really a priority for him to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know what the message should say. We can't get a hold of Boone, so it'll likely have to be a message for Jorand.
Give me 10 words.
Start with Jorand's name. Jorand.
Okay. Next.
The black substance has breached the surface. Please help.
And with that, there will be a cascade of air leading up into the sky, and the clouds will begin to alter their shape to form the
Ooh,
message.
Skyrite.
Ooh.
Nice.
I am the master of the sea and sky. Thank you very much.
Very effective. Very effective.
You hear a divine whisper in your ear. No, you're not. You're like,
Don't antagonize the gods, Taylor.
so that's for 1 hour. So
Yo
you're only gonna
ho,
stay in
yo
the sky above
we
where you
own
can
the
see,
sea
though,
and
right?
sky.
So
Yeah, I don't actually know, like, realistically what you're putting a thing in the sky with clouds, so I'm going to assume someone's going to see it. It's going to get passed around, and
With any luck, yeah.
okay, I'll make note of it.
the range is sight. I don't.
Yeah.
know if anybody else could see it within sight. I don't know how it lasts as long as the wind will allow it to.
Well, it lasts for an hour, actually. It says.
True, but unless the wind.
Unless the wind, yeah. So if there's a strong wind,
It's-
yeah. There is no wind today. It is
It's literally the best we can do.
Yep.
It's true.
Okay. So you write that in the sky with the hopes that someone somewhere somewhere.
It's
We'll
better
see
than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this. So, my cousins, Veruca and Listeria, they were little stinkers. Like, literally. When goblins are little, they got they got a stink gland. It's like it's a defense mechanism in case it gets snatched by predators. We lose it like you guys lose your baby teeth, right?
It just sort of falls out.
Yeah, no, you just kind of crap it out one day when you're about 5. So the overseers at the camp, they didn't have a lot of experience dealing with goblins. And every once in a while, one of these little goblins had a little surprise for an ogre who got too close to their stink gland, right? And in this analogy, we are the ogre, and that pile of goo is a goblin who hasn't passed his stink gland yet. It's a pile of nasty that we have no idea what we're getting into.
It's a defense mechanism, you say?
Yeah, huh? You know, like a skunk, right? You spray them with your stink gland and you get away.
I understand what you're saying. I feel like I'm picking up what you're throwing down. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just left with a number of troubling mental images.
As are we all. And everybody watching this. Who is now thinking
all
about
that is canon now, Craig. You're gonna have to update the setting guide.
I said I'm gonna write that down. I wrote down Goblin Stink Gland. I'm not lying.
It's canon.
Take notes for a reason here, right?
What can I tell you?
I enjoy that.
We're full of surprises. And that's one I don't want to get into.
At least not until we're adequately prepared.
Yes.
All right. So, what is the plan
I
at this
imagine
juncture?
that, based on the effect that substance had on the deck of the ship, as well as the effect that it has on living tissue, if we could find a way to get down there without the risk of it making contact with our skin. Taylor, that figure that we scryed on in Jordan's tower appeared to be wearing a diving suit of some sort. Do you suppose you would know where we could have those commissioned?
Was that something that would be considered like weird and futuristic, or is that something that I might have heard about at some point while living in a port city?
Give me a history check.
And or doing research on whalers.
Yeah, give me a history check.
Okay. I'm great at that. Yep.
You have no clue. Nothing you really cared about previously, or
to be honest with you, Torque, I was just as shocked as you were to see such mind-blowing technology. What is it exactly we are planning to do down there? Because if it's proxy investigation, that I can do.
Well, down where? Where we saw the thing in the Sea of Souls? Or these ruins that we're trying to get to? Or the black stuff?
I believe Torque was trying to find a way to go into the black stuff without the black stuff touching us.
Yeah. Like, obviously, that's not, like, on today's itinerary, but just sort of, like, to plan for the future, because we'll need to go down there eventually, I feel like.
Hysteria. All right. So what are we doing, guys?
Well, I believe...
Like I could
had this
send
conversation, we could be sailing north. Circle.
I could send bubbles down there, but it doesn't really it doesn't really prevent it from. It would just pop out of existence.
Well, then we'd have to be pretty close for it to be controlled by.
That's the thing, yeah. That's about all I've got.
So for the sake of story progression and expediency, we will say that you make your way around the point.
You stick close to the shore to avoid any weird whirlpools and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see some things, some animals and some stuff, and some passing ships and stuff, but nothing that really I mean, if we described every single day of a ship's voyage, it'd get pretty tedious. So, it takes you about another 2 days, all well and said, to get around the point and kind of make your way through the shallows and to approach the next location on your map. And as you approach this marked location as a potential spot for the Dwarven ruins, you can see that this area of the sea, you're coming upon another spot where there are bright coral reefs and beautiful kind of tropical clear waters that you can see through and see a lot of life down below. And kind of peppered along this spot of the shore, and in fact this whole kind of side of the island, even where you guys had moved from the smaller islands, and when you approached and made landfall, there are kind of cliffs that rise and fall, and underwater as well you can see various spots where there's cliffs, some of which go quite deep down, and you can see little pockets here and there. Some are no more than a few feet in, just kind of little cut out. Others appear to be perhaps deeper caves as well. And looking down where these kind of bright corals are, you can see there's a lot of spots where something could easily be hidden. There's a lot of large openings. One in particular seems quite large, and it's an area where kind of on the sea floor, there's all this coral growing all around it, and on the sea floor you can see this bright glowing coral, almost as if it's like lining the outside of the entrance of this underwater cavernous expanse. Somebody give me a perception check. We're gonna do a group perception.
I feel like I need to redeem myself for my previous roll.
All right.
I redeem myself from all of my previous rolls tonight.
Me too, but
It's not happening.
I guess.
Dinar gets
Oh,
10.
14.
not terrible.
14. Dinar got 10.
10.
Let's have Flick and Talon go too. Let's go for a group check here as you're all.
How's a 22 work for you?
That works well.
12.
And a 12. Okay.
I'm really good at perception, but just my D20s.
Sure you are. Sure you are. So, Flick, you spot this first, but the rest of you are kind of able to see. There's something that immediately grabs your attention, and it's so subtle. It's you almost missed it. But amidst all the natural rock formations and the coral, there's one spot just kind of jutting out of the sand a little bit by this larger cave entrance where you look down. And Flick, as you're looking, you realize the kind of right angles and the more kind of squared, almost cut feature as you're looking. And it's a crenellation. Something that would be found on a fortification, a wall top, a constructed
All right, boys. I think we hit
structure
pay
rather than something natural.
What'd you find?
And I will point out the. So you see the little wavy yellow one there? Check for the straight lines. You see that? Top of castle wall? Eh?
Oh.
Yeah?
Treasure.
I wasn't going to say treasure, but that certainly looks like ruins.
Yeah, that's that.
And
This
where
could be
there's
our boy.
ruins, there's treasure.
Treasure.
Need I remind you that treasure is not our priority here.
Of course, of course.
Of course not.
And yet,
I could use a
However,
little right now. Feeling a little
we've worked
light in the
very hard to find this place, okay?
sacrificed many bottles of alcohol.
Yeah, we gotta make sure that we buy that. I can't go a night without having any of that stuff. We gotta be careful.
All right, we got a pretty good suspicion. How do we verify? Like, I'm assuming we go down there. What are we looking for to nail that this is the one?
Well, I assume we'd have to check all the other spots. There's no ruins, and this is the spot. Well, we'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we do the normal routine of 2 above, 2 down, or do we all want to go? Because last time we all went, there was a big Kraken thing.
Yeah, but the first time that we all went, the two of you met. I mean,
Gilblins.
yeah, you dispatched them very quickly, but
we missed out on the fun.
we missed out on the fun.
Do aquatic goblins also have the scent gland, or is it more of like an octopus's ink?
It's more of an ink than a stink.
Yeah.
Right, but it is also located same
Same general
location.
physical location.
Right.
Yeah.
They're such a strange species.
What can I say? We're
Says the
trying.
talking turtle.
Yes, glass houses.
Oh my goodness.
Suddenly, the fact that you thought my shell was detachable makes so much more sense now.
I mean, right?
Now that I know everything about goblin anatomy, that would be almost normal by comparison.
Seriously.
All right, what's the modus operandi here?
So yeah, I mean, the question is, do we want to leave anybody up here?
I'm inclined to say no, but I'm open to
Yeah, it worked out
hearing.
pretty well last time.
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
we
if
all
we-
went
if-
down
if-
for the giant shark fight, and if we hadn't
if-
done...
Yeah, that's true. If we can see the top of the ruins, though, I can't imagine it's that deep.
Well, but that's the top of the castle. How
Yeah,
tall are the
castles-
castles where you're from?
Pretty big.
Castles?
Yeah,
Man, I ain't even seen a castle.
it's right there.
Yeah.
The top
Oh,
of it's
see it.
right there.
That's barely. That ain't no castle. Well, we gotta go look at it. Okay, fine. We'll all head down. There's probably no point in leaving a familiar up here because it's going to be lower than 100 feet.
Might be, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think I should do it anyway?
One question, Craig, about the
Yes, sir.
cliffs with the nooks and crannies and stuff.
Mhm.
Does that look like the natural habitat of any particular critters that I'm aware of?
Give me nature or survival check. Your choice here.
I think they're both the same. Blam. 8. Looks like the kind of place my folks would move into, but
You're not entirely sure, but at a quick glance, it doesn't look like there's any
there's no wildlife.
significant predatorial creatures. Like
Cool.
there's an abundance of like life below and like fish everywhere, brilliantly colored. There's a thriving ecosystem here. So I mean, there may be. There's always gonna be predators in this kind of location, but it doesn't look like anything of like significant large stature has kind of marked this territory. It's
Not like the nesting grounds of the giant rocks or anything. Okay.
yeah, it's pretty vibrant around here. So
Okay. Cool. All right. D, make with the water breathing, and we'll get the hell down there.
Yeah. Dinar will start ritual casting water breathing.
While you cast the ritual torque, we'll just scout ahead.
You don't need no water breathing.
dun 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 dun. Perfect. We'll stop there for copyright.
Wizard, leave my gills alone.
Are we allowed to clip that?
I think we can because we didn't use any of the words. So
Yeah,
it's a parody.
It's fair
parody.
use.
It's a
Fair
parody.
use.
It's fair use and parody. Yeah, we can do it. Clip it. So Torque, you're going like deep dive in kind of thing, like just heading down, or what's your
Yeah,
plan?
I mean, like, I'll go as far as the crenellation, the ramparts. I won't go any further than that, and I'll keep an eye line with the ship just so they can see me through the clear water the whole time.
Cool.
Past few episodes have been education on various parts of ships and ship travel. Now we're going to get lots of education on the various parts of castles and masonry.
I'm not gonna
That is
lie. When you
correct.
said that word, Craig, I googled it.
Crenellation.
Crenellations?
Never heard that before. I was like, "What's a crenellation? Is it some kind of crustacean?"
You're a crenellation.
I don't
It
know.
is now.
It is. I was going to say it is now.
Castle
Write it
crab.
down. Yes.
Hey man, hermit crabs, right? Well, get a giant hermit
That
crab.
was
behind the
exactly what I
castle
thought
and,
of. I was like, "Wow, it's a crab! It's a crab with a castle on its back."
Totally. That's D&D. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Mer people live in.
Right? Yeah. The crab's name is probably Dinglenuts. Who knows? Torque, as you descend into the beautiful, pristine corals here, the reef, it's just abundant in life and color everywhere. The types of fish that you see, there's shrimps and crabs. There are several varieties of eels, kind of swimming in and out of the little spots between the corals. On the bottom as well, you can see bottom feeders. You can see various types of those catfish. There's a few octopus around. It's just filled with life, and the corals themselves. You realize that as you're descending, many of them are actually giving off an ambient light. That there's a bioluminescence to them here that is just beautiful and breathtaking. And as your feet kind of touch down in the soft sand, kick up a little bit of sediment around, and you can see this part of the structure sticking out now. The first thing you realize is that it's at a very odd angle. This isn't something that is like the straight top. It looks like it's kind of on its side. So it's a broken part of something that's not at the right angle to be a solid structure. And looking a bit closer,
Like partially collapsed, or
it looks like it's broken off of something, but it has been buried here for a long time. You can tell that, and this is stone that's been worn by ages being underwater here. Beyond, as you've kind of reached the bottom now, and you can kind of see this vast opening below the coral. It is a cave opening, the size of a castle almost itself. It's probably a good, 80 feet from floor to the top of this, the ridge. But it quickly kind of narrows as it goes in, and you can see what appears to be a cave structure beyond, and within you can see spots where there's some more of those underwater growth, growing here and there, that again is giving off that bioluminescent pink screens, blues, purples, all kinds of different colors. And it looks like this is an opening to something that goes well beyond what you can see. There's definitely more to explore within.
no signs of danger thus far, though, which is good. I will just stand by and await the others to catch up.
As you all eventually reach the bottom and you see this piece, it's a large piece, we're not talking like small, like it's a very large piece of a fortification. Dinar, give me a history check, please.
Can do. I believe I'm trained in history. I am. All right. All of my dice suck, so let's go back to number 1. 8 plus my 7, thankfully, so 15.
15, okay. You've spent enough time around dwarfs, learned their culture, grown up, spending time in Stormhaven, becoming familiar enough with Dwarven architecture that as you see this crenellation and you look at even now after so much time underwater being worn away, you can see the expertise in the shaping, the chisel marks, the cuts, and the angles. There's just little bits here and there. You're confident that this is of Dwarven design.
Not
And that's
really-
where we'll end tonight's session.
Ah!
All right.
Well, you can. What were you gonna say there, Mike?
I was gonna say, since I can't really talk underwater, I guess I'll just kind of go, ah!
Go like short dwarf beard. So, having found something potentially dwarven with a mysterious cavern awaiting you to explore, that is where we will end this episode of Sea of Souls. Thank you all for joining us. And again, if you aren't following us yet on Twitch, please do so that we can get that follower count up and we can reach affiliate status. That would be totally awesome. Make sure that you check out our link tree so that you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Podbean. YouTube, you can watch the VODs. Podbean, you can listen to the audios of our sessions. And hopefully we will catch you next time. So thank you. And happy gaming. We'll see you next time, every peoples. So long.